go. All right. Yeah, we're recording. Yeah, we're back. It's been like 2 weeks because, we didn't do one last week. Jake had his reasons. I also kind of was cool with taking a week off, to be honest with you.
It was part like personal reasons, and then also like, man, I'm so burnt out doing these over Skype.
I know, that's what I was thinking. I'm like, I just like, I can't, I just can't wait to start doing actual things. It's like, it feels like on here it's just I don't know if it's a different, like, there's no, it's not the same like chemistry. You don't feel like there's no like, I don't know, it's very strange. Conversations aren't the same either.
That's why me and Austin haven't been doing anything, because I'm just like, I don't know, it would throw me off completely trying to do this anyways with just me and Austin, and also his schedule is so fucking weird now. So
sure, yeah, probably with like 2 people it'd be weird. I mean, like when we have like 4 people in the chat, it's like it keeps going because there's so many people, like it keeps things moving. But yeah, welcome to the Clear Shots podcast. My name is Seth, for sure not an alien Skinner.
I am Jake Spin Kicks Jones.
And I am Zemiah Phrance. Yeah.
I saw GTA 5 was free this week. I don't know what it was on. Was it on GOG or something like that?
Epic Games.
It's free on. I already had it on Steam, so I was like, eh. But
yeah, me too. It's like I wish I would have known that because I bought it like a month or 2 ago. It's like,
I bought it. Fuck, when did I buy Grand Theft Auto 5 on Steam? I think I bought it forever. I bought it years ago, back when my computer couldn't even run it, and then
I remember that.
Finally, I got this rig and was able to play it. But
yeah,
by then, I had already beat it twice, so it kind of lost its luster.
That's the thing. Like, I had played it on the 360 and then the Xbox One, and then I played it again on PC. I still liked it. Like, it's still a really good game. Like, even this, like, you kind of forget how good the storyline actually is. It's very like, what I like about it is it's consistent and it never like stops at any point in time. So even when you're traveling through places, you're still like getting bits and pieces of the story through dialogue. And then Red Dead 2 is on Game Pass now. So I started playing that a little bit. And it's like one of those, it's like, I don't know if I want to commit to it.
Dude, it is a fucking trek, man. I have probably 70 hours or 80 hours in Red Dead 2, and according to Wes, I have like just gotten halfway.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, I can't. I fucking deleted it because it took up so much space.
It's huge, yeah. It's a giant download.
And it was the only game I was playing. So, like, I was like, fuck this. Like, I'm not just going to keep Red Dead on here because when I play it, it's just, like, there's no... You don't play that game to relieve stress. You play that game to invest.
Right.
Like, it was really fun, especially, like, robbing stagecoaches and shit. But after a while, I was like, man, I want to play something else.
Yeah, I mean, that's really all that's the only word I can think of is like investment when it comes to that game, because it's just the story. Like, I'm sure the whole story is great, but it just feels like it's just GTA in the Wild West again. So
yeah,
I don't know. I just wonder if it's deep enough for me to like mechanically to want to play it. It seems like the gameplay loop is the same. Like I knew what to expect, basically.
I say it's fun, and it's definitely amazing. The story is fucking amazing. There's a reason I spent so much time on it. But, like, I burnt myself out, and I'm probably not going to finish it for a while.
Yeah.
Like, especially because all the Final Fantasy games are coming to Game Pass on, like, throughout the year. Apparently, they're all going to be on Game Pass by October 1 through 15, besides 11, which is only on PS2.
Well, it's like I feel like if I started playing it, I'd be playing nothing else. And I also can't play that. That's not a game I can play and listen to like a podcast or a music or anything, because you have to be just focused on all the dialogue and all that stuff.
Literally. Yeah.
I got Far Cry 5 and New Dawn literally, I think, yesterday on Steam. And I've been playing Far Cry 5, and then last night I tried like playing it with a podcast on. I was like, it's one of those games, like, if you want to follow the storyline, you probably shouldn't be listening to anything. But if you want to just go out and fuck around in the world, then it's like one of those perfect games for you to just kick back and just relax and listen to something while you're
right.
playing it.
That's why like I enjoy playing Warframe, because number one, it's free and it's a fun game, but also it's like it's one of those games where you're just chopping shit down for, you know, you can kind of mindlessly just kill enemies in that game.
Yeah.
And the audio isn't really key to anything.
Yeah, it really isn't.
No. I mean, even the story parts aren't really, like, they're cool and everything, but similar to Destiny, where like it's cool but like there's not really a super impactful story to it.
Yeah, my buddies and I have been playing Warframe for so long now that like whenever an update comes out, we'll play the update, and then once it's over, we have nothing else to do. Like there's legit absolutely nothing else to do in the game, so we just drop it again and wait until the next update. And that kind of sucks now, because we've just kind of squeezed every last bit of that game out of itself for us, because we've just been playing it for so long. So
yeah,
that's what Wes and I did with Call of Duty. Well, I originally deleted it because the download size was too big, but I quit playing sports games besides UFC, so I don't need a lot of download space. So I'm like, fuck it, COD is back in. Warzone is dope, man. Warzone is fucking cool as shit.
It is. I've been playing it a lot.
The only issue I have with it is that Graham and Wes seem very keen on trying, and I am not at all. I just like to fuck around because it's Call of Duty. That's the only thing I hate.
Yeah, if you're playing Warzone, you go in to try.
Yeah. Well, no, you don't have to. You know,
you don't have to. No.
Jot that down.
Yeah.
Way more fun to just fuck around and steal Humvees and drive.
You can do that in Ground War.
Yeah, no. Warzone? Sick, dude.
See, that's the thing about Battle Royale games is like I feel like there's less opportunity to fuck around because you have one life. You know what I mean?
Well, they had that whole thing with the gulag, and then your friends can also buy you back in Warzone. So you have room to fuck around a little bit, but not much.
I know Apex does that too. There's like a way to respawn your team, your squad, or whatever.
I ended up getting
I mean, we obviously, you know, try to win, but it's like when you have shit weapons and there's like 80 people left and you're stranded, it's like, fuck it, dude. Let's do something wacky. Like yesterday, we managed to get like 14th. We chased down this guy that had a truck, and we stole his truck and then parked it in a garage and then just hid there. And then when he got back in the truck and his teammates were piling in, we just all threw all of our grenades at it and just blew it up. And then we danced around them while they all bled to death.
That's hilarious.
It's like real war, dude.
Yeah. It's like Chicago. Chicago. Pretty sick, man.
Yeah. What I've like had like maybe a consistent rotation of like maybe 4 different games. Streets of Rage 4, obviously. Fire Pro Wrestling World, and then Warframe, and Halo Master Chief Collection, because Halo 2's on there now on PC.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much all I've been doing. It's like I don't know. And they're all games that I can play while I'm listening to something or whatever. So
yeah.
I'm still recording my playthrough of Silent Hill 2, but boys, that game is fucking scary as shit. That game is like literally, it's getting me worse than Alien Isolation, and I'm still in like the beginning. Like you have to like find 3 characters in the beginning, and then the game like changes or something. And I found one guy on accident.
Whoops! I found a guy.
But dude, like everyone's seen the scene from Silent Hill 2. It's iconic where you first see Pyramid Head.
Yeah.
And he's like raping a corpse.
Yeah. One of those leg things.
Yeah. So there's the actual part where you first meet him. Literally, I'm doing what I'm doing right now is I'm editing it down to just the like 10 minutes of just me getting the shit scared out of me, and then I'm gonna release the whole thing episodically. Mm-hmm. There's a part where I'm like scared shitless. I just kill a thing, and I'm walking down the hallway. I go in this room, and it's locked, and I'm like, oh fuck! And then all of a sudden, the camera pans back out. And there's bars in the middle of the hallway, and Pyramid Head is just staring at me through the bars, and I was frozen. like I didn't know that he can just apparently you can just see him randomly before like he actually shows up, or maybe he's scripted there. No idea.
I think there's multiple Pyramid Heads.
Is that what it is? Because that's fucked.
Yeah, because the whole idea of Silent Hill is like. The place is like,
it's like
I don't know how to word it.
It's like his personal hell. It's everyone's personal.
Yeah, and like every single monster is a recreation of something that he's either guilty for or something that he's done, or one of his sins or whatever. Because like the leg thing, I think Pyramid Head is his was his it was like lust or something like that,
sexual depravity,
something like that. And it's a weird game, such a weird game.
I can't remember if it was the first one or the second one. You fight like the nurses, and in the second one all the monsters are like sexy, not like objectively, but they're very sexual in their movements. And they like moan when you hit them with shit. It's like fucking weird.
Yeah, and, that is kind of weird.
But the third one, I remember it being like really twisted, like fucking, I don't know, like male humanoid demons. And
well, I mean, it depends on like what you're looking for, though. You know what I mean? Like, are you trying to get into like are you trying to play a game for like weird half boners, or are you trying to like get into, weird male demons?
Well, like when we were kids, those half boners were all we lived for, man.
Yeah, I always knew I had a problem when I would get aroused while performing fatalities on Sonya Blade.
Yeah. Well, I think when you're a kid, it's not, you get less half boners and just more full ragers,
Yeah,
like it's like like it's like when you get older, you can moderate it a little bit more. You can, I don't know. Maybe it's just weighed down a little bit more. There's a little more weight.
Yeah, it's just the weight of the world is just making it easier.
Like a depression is pushing down on your throbbing wiener.
Yeah.
It's tough.
Yeah, so I got a couple other horror games that I'm looking to check out. I've got Haunting Ground, which is like a spiritual successor to the Clock Tower games, which looks pretty sweet. Rule of Rose, which I played a little bit of, but didn't get that far in, which like barely got released in America, but you're this girl that's like walking through the woods and she gets lost, and she stumbles upon this orphanage that's like flipped. So like it's all these wicked, sketchy, demonic children, and they're like enslaving all these adults. And like performing demonic sex rituals on them. There's a lot of sex in these fucking horror games. It's very strange.
Well, yeah, that's kind of a theme in horror movies too, though. In a lot of ways, like there's a lot of people getting killed in showers, butt naked, right? There's people getting killed in bathtubs and shit.
Yeah,
it's like in Halloween. It's like why, he killed her when she was butt naked for some reason. In the opening scene, It's like, you could have just killed her any other time. I feel like she could have been clothed and it would have been fine. She would have died.
When she was
just
fucking
as
her
good.
boyfriend, right? Or did he?
I think that
watch
was in the
them?
remake. In the original, it was just them at home. I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Yeah, in the remake, he kills his sister, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He does it in both of them, but
Oh yeah.
I think it was just shot different in the Rob Zombie one.
The Rob Zombie one is really cool, specifically because of like the 35-minute prologue of young Michael Myers. The scene where he beats that kid to death with the log,
Yeah,
hilariously good. Like it's fucking so brutal.
I definitely liked the amount of backstory he put into it for sure. Like, because the first one's short. The original one's short.
It's only like 80 minutes, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's like you really don't get a feel for like the character or anything like that. So
dude, that movie is still so fucking scary though. Like
yeah, it's a great movie. I mean, it's just that's the thing is you can watch it in an hour in like 20 minutes or whatever it is. But that's actually like the only one that I watched like a million times when I was growing up, basically.
I watched Jeepers Creepers. That fucked me up big time as a kid.
Yeah, that movie's really good. It's on all the time. Like it seems like it's on like probably I probably see it 3 times a year just on TV for no reason.
Yeah.
Like it's just every channel has the rights to that movie for some reason.
my grandpa took me to the second one when I was like 6 or 7. It was pretty sweet.
I don't think I saw the second one.
I like the second one a lot.
I saw the first one. My cousins showed me the first one, which they showed me my favorite movie when I was a kid, which was Terminator 2 Judgment Day. And then I was like, all right, then if you showed me that movie and I loved it that much, this movie should be great. So I sat and watched it with them, and it scared the absolute shit out of me. I think I was like maybe like 10 at the time when I watched it.
Yeah,
So
they're basically
the
same. They're basically the same movie too, and Arnold Schwarzenegger's in both of them. So.
Oh yeah. No, but I just figured, I was like, you've showed me all the other movies I've liked.
I remember watching that movie with Dan all the time. Jeepers Creepers 1 and 2 are like his favorite fucking movies ever.
Mm-hmm.
Watch
3
that.
is just bad.
3, dude, I remember when 3 came out, I didn't hear from him for like 4 days.
He was just crying.
It was awful. Like him and I have seen some awful movies together, and he's like, don't even watch it. Like, it's that bad. I'm like, all right, sick. It wasn't gonna. It was Jeepers Creepers 3.
Well, yeah, it was a horror movie that came out in 2019. Like, any horror movies that come out nowadays just aren't good, in my opinion.
So they're so few and far between. Like, Hereditary and Midsummer were amazing.
I never saw Midsummer.
I haven't seen it yet either, but I heard it's amazing. I have to watch it. I have it. I have not watched it yet.
Gotcha.
What was the one with? I heard Bird Box was pretty good. And then what was the one with John Krasinski or whatever from The Office?
Oh,
Quiet Place.
Yeah, I heard that one got good reviews.
It did. Those 2 movies did, but they're horror movies for people that want to tell people they watched a scary movie over the weekend.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
Oh, you wouldn't believe what the hubby and I did. We put the kids to bed and we watched Bird Box, and I was so scared.
Yeah.
No, it's not. No.
Yeah,
It's like those people who think they're edgy for watching Stranger Things.
Yeah, it's not that they're bad movies, and I'm totally being an elitist right now, but it's like I remember seeing Quiet Place in theaters was an awesome experience, but fucking dumb. It was so dumb. It was dumb. Like it was.
Yeah, I think they're more suspense movies than anything. It seems like.
Yeah. Thrillers. Sure. They're more so thrillers than they are horror movies.
Yeah.
Sort of like
that's a fine line too, though. You can walk that line it's pretty thin.
The Jordan Peele movies, like
Get Out was really good. Yeah,
Get Out was great. Wasn't really scary.
Never saw it.
Us was wicked weird.
Yeah.
And it was too up its own ass, but it was okay.
Huh.
Still better
I
than
didn't see that one.
Quiet Place.
I watched the one on Netflix, Apostle. I don't know if you told me to watch that or somebody told me to watch it. Maybe it was Dave.
Never heard of it.
Yeah, it was really good too. I don't know if it's a indie film or what, but it's yeah, it was shot really well. And it's on Netflix, so if you look for something to watch.
Okay.
I definitely recommend it's not a horror movie, but I was hanging out with my buddy Steve the other day and we watched the new Chris Hemsworth movie, Extraction. It's an action movie.
I heard good things about that.
Oh my God.
It's fucking sick.
It sounds like such an action movie.
It is. Dude, so get this, right? And the story is literally like a fucking 80s movie. So Chris Hemsworth is a guy that was a spec ops soldier, and he took on a secret mission years ago, and his son was dying of cancer. And when he gets deployed, his son dies, so his wife leaves him. So he fills the void in his heart by doing all of these spec ops missions and making millions of dollars. And this guy hires him to save his son, who's been kidnapped by this other guy. And he's like, I will give you $5 million to come into India and save my son. And he's like, all right, sick, dude. Let me get my boys and we'll be right on that. And then he gets there. And he got double crossed because the guy that's hiring him to save his son hired this other guy by kidnapping the other guy's son. And he's like, if you want to see your son again, you got to kill Chris Hemsworth and get my son back. So it's like, it's two action movies in one. So one guy is trying to save the guy's son for money. The other guy is trying to save the guy's son in order to save his son.
Oh, that's what the movie was about. I thought you were talking about Chris Hemsworth and his actual life.
Well, it's a documentary.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
It's a one-shot documentary.
Yeah.
But
they just had a camera crew following him for his entire life.
It's such a not movie. Like, literally just drink beer and laugh at it the whole time. But it was so fucking cool. It was like John Wick mixed with like Full Metal Jacket. Like,
I mean, that's what I feel like most action movies are, though. It's like it's like I just want to see like people shoot stuff and explosions and cool like, gunfights and shit and diving and dodge rolls and shit.
Fucking sick. Like I'm not a big action movie guy either. Like, if I'm watching an action movie, it has to be like from the 80s or 90s.
Yeah, yeah.
Or the Raid movies, yes, for sure. Like I really liked Dread with Carl Urban. That was sick.
The newer one?
Yeah.
That was a good movie.
That one was fucking cool. The John Wick movies are amazing.
I still need to watch those. It's like everybody talks about how great they are.
Dude,
I watched the first movie. That's the only movie I've seen.
I've seen the first two. I have the third one. I have to watch that one still. I was gonna watch it tonight, but that's not. It's not happening. I think that like Terminator 2 and Aliens are probably my two favorite action movies. And Commando, Commando is sick.
I've never seen Commando. Have you seen Last Action Hero?
No.
It's another Arnold Schwarzenegger film, and it's great. It's about Arnold Schwarzenegger's character is an actual character in a movie, and so in the world in the movie, he's a character in a movie, and this little kid somehow gets him to come I forgot what happens. Through some sort of magic, he ends up coming out of the movie and spending time with this kid. But then other shit ends up happening where they both have to go into the movie, and then they come out of the movie because bad guys from the movie came into real life. It's totally just one of those super cheesy action movies with not the greatest plot, but it's a fun watch. It's a really fun watch.
That is the move.
Yeah, it's like I don't even know if I've watched 10 full action movies in my entire life. You know what I mean? The appeal of it is not really there for me. It's like there's movies that have action in them, you know? Like Star Wars isn't an action movie, but it's got a lot of action.
Yeah. Still haven't seen the new Star Wars, and I don't think I really need to.
You don't do it. It's fucking awful. They ruin everything anymore.
I was like, as soon as I heard that they brought back they brought back Palpatine, I was like, no.
No, the best part is that they announced Palpatine was coming back in Fortnite. They didn't even do an official announcement. 2 weeks before the movie came out, they had a thing in Fortnite where if you were playing at a specific time, the Emperor would pop up on your screen as a hologram and he would talk to you. And then that was their key into, oh, the Emperor is back. They don't explain it at all. Like, you know how they do the title crawl in Star Wars? Mm-hmm. For the newest one, the title crawl starts and it literally goes, Palpatine is back! ! They don't explain it at all. They explain it.
Yeah.
I've seen all the movies that have failed that have come out recently, and it makes me really sad. Like the new Harley Quinn movie, I kind of saw that being bad, but I was just hoping that for some reason DC would turn it around and make it an actual decent movie. But from what I've seen, it was just absolute ass.
So man, it's so weird too, though, because like you see, there's so many movies that come out and get like really good reviews, but they end up being shit movies, or you get movies that are critically panned, and then you're like, this movie's fucking awesome. Like there's such a range of like what people enjoy from a film that like you could put on a movie and it could actually be shit, but like there's gonna be a bunch of people that like it for whatever reason.
There's like a big controversy involving, like, this is comedy, but Dave Chappelle's special. Metacritic only allowed certain reviewers to be published on the site, so it made the score look bad. Yeah. And that's what all the movies, like big movie companies, do nowadays. If you give them a bad review, they don't let you publish your review on Metacritic, or Metacritic doesn't allow you to publish your review.
I heard Sonic was really good.
I heard it was fucking amazing.
Yeah,
and apparently
I heard too.
Adam Sandler liked it so much he's volunteered to play Knuckles in the sequel.
Okay, yeah, let's do that.
I'm not sure if I read that or if that was a dream I had, but I'm pretty sure it's real.
That seems pretty awesome. I would watch.
If that was your dream, I want your dreams because I want to know how that turns out.
Yeah, I mean, usually probably something involving my mother.
And Adam Sandler.
Adam
Sandler's in everything though, so it's like it makes sense that he'd be in people's dreams too, you know. But I feel like the thing with reviews, not just reviews though, also like any rating you get on any product online, a lot of that stuff's paid for, or it's bots or whatever. It's like super easy to create accounts on any website, so people can just do that when they put out a product and 5-star everything they're fucking selling, or just whatever, and immediately it has a 5-star rating overall.
Yeah.
And it's like all this stuff now is like all this internet data, you can just pay for that kind of shit. It's like it seems like it's basically based on how much you're willing to invest. Even with like Facebook posts, like you can literally pay for people to see your content.
Yeah.
And it's like, if you don't, it might as well not exist.
Pretty much.
Yeah, it's limited to shares.
Right. So it's like, you know, and I've run ads for the podcast a couple times, but like I've only put $5 to $10 into them, and they run for a week or whatever. But you know, maybe you get 100 people to see it, but that doesn't mean that you're going to get taps or clicks. Yeah. You know, it just means that maybe it'll show up in their feed. Yeah. And it's like, you know, if I'm investing like $100 into it, maybe I'd see 300 people maybe see it, and then maybe I get 100 clicks if I'm lucky.
I don't understand that we have X amount of people following the show, but when we post things, it'll only tell us it'll be like 30 people reached. It's like, wait a minute, why didn't you post it for everybody?
Why didn't everyone see it? Right.
Yeah. I don't know if 30 people clicked it.
I think
Yeah, I
it's
don't know
like
what
30
reach
people
is.
scrolled. Like it actually like went on to like 30 people's screens and they saw it.
Like it
But-
showed, like they saw it in their feed. Is
Yeah,
what it's saying.
pretty
Maybe.
much. I think that's what it means. And then like if people engaged with it, that means they actually clicked on it.
And it's like with every site now, not just Facebook. Every like 4 posts is a sponsored post, so it's something that's been paid for.
Yeah.
Whether it's a video or it could be on Instagram, it could be on Reddit, it could be on Twitter. I don't know if Twitter does sponsored. Yeah, they probably do, right? Twitter probably does sponsored tweets, I would imagine.
Oh,
If not, it's
Yeah,
ads.
definitely.
you promote them or whatever.
Yeah, Instagram
Right, yeah,
does well, Instagram themselves doesn't pay people, but like there are people that'll pay people on Instagram to fucking promote products and shit like that.
Yeah, and I think you can do that with the Facebook stuff is like because they're owned by the same company, so you can go like on Facebook if you create an ad and you want to pay for it, you can just check like also run this ad on Instagram and it'll run on both of them, which is nice. I mean, I like that. You're paying one price for getting both of them, but it's like if you're going to try to invest that much money into it, it's like, I don't know, you're kind of taking a gamble that people are actually going to see it.
Yeah.
And it's like, I like the idea of being able to get the word out, but you're just going to get beat out by whoever's going to pay more money than you.
Pretty much, yeah.
Like
Pretty much.
It's because you're going to see an ad for a company that's bigger or some like Wish fucking ad or some shit before you see ours.
Yeah.
So
I
at
see
any rate,
ads
I'm
for
gonna
dumb shit.
go ahead and make an ad right now then. Yeah, I might actually run one just to see. I'll put like $5 out and see what happens with it.
Sure, an experiment.
I think New York's new ban on vapes is pretty.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Yeah, I went out and like bought so much fucking juice.
Yeah, I'm thinking about buying like a bunch of it online just to stock up.
We'll do it before the 1st because when that goes into effect, you're not able to buy it online anymore either.
Dude,
I
that
love
is
how
the
they decided to.
stupidest shit.
Yeah, I love how they decided to just sneak this shit in, like out of nowhere. They're just like, oh, everybody's worried about the virus. Let's just sneak this little fucking thing in there.
I shared a thing. It's a thing Zemiah posted. I shared that thing about how they attached it to the fucking like bill for the virus. Like it wasn't even.
It did.
It wasn't even referenced in the title or anything. It was called like.
So they had no choice but to pass it.
Right. And it's like, what the fuck? I was talking to people at work about it today, and they're like freaking out. They're like, I'm fine because I just like nicotine. I don't care about flavors. I just use a Juul. I don't know what's gonna happen with Juul. Are they gonna keep tobacco flavors?
See, this is my question.
That's
like,
the only thing that you're allowed to get now is tobacco flavored juice. There's still going to be vape juice. That's the only type of juice you'll be able to buy is tobacco.
That fucking breaks my heart for places like Vapor J's and Smoker's Choice and stuff. Like the guy who runs Vapor J's is the coolest dude ever, and him and his wife put so much money and time and effort into that fucking business. After it burned down and they reopened it and it thrived again. And now it's, oh no, fuck you. It's like, really, dude? So all these people that were going to be coming back to their businesses in a few weeks, now you have thousands and thousands and thousands of people that are going to be out of a job.
well, it's like they're still gonna sell devices and all that stuff, right? So they're still gonna be able to be in business if they want. You're losing flavors, which is totally fucking stupid, and for a number of reasons that I'm not even gonna fucking go into.
Yeah, and people aren't gonna buy box mods anymore because who do you know that actually vapes tobacco flavored juice out of a box mod?
Right.
Nobody, because that flavor is way too harsh on your throat. That's why they go with like something with like a fruity flavor or something, or even menthol like I use. But
well, it's almost like, I mean, it's definitely like they're trying to push people back into cigarettes. You know, it's not even really like, it's not they're not hiding it in any way.
Yeah.
You know,
100%.
and it's you know, and it's weird too because it seems like everybody's moving into like smaller devices, like this little guy.
I have the same one.
Oh, that's the Coco.
Yep, the Coco. I got one too.
They're so nice, but like
Yeah.
I love these smaller devices anyway because they're more portable. They still give you a good dose of nicotine, and it, like just the fact that carrying around a big ass box mod and big bottles of juice and everything is just not convenient.
Yeah, it's annoying. I'd always have my backpack on me wherever I went if I had my fucking vape on me, and that wasn't convenient.
Right.
Right.
But like I bought the regular Caliburn and I bought this one because then it's like, you know, I can just take one to work and throw it in my pocket, and it's tiny, you know, it's a tiny little fucking thing that I don't have to, even if it breaks, it's $30 or something, you know.
Yeah. Stupid cheap.
Definitely get a new car, like not loudest car ever.
They just drive back and forth in front of your house, don't they?
I think they do.
They get your podcast schedule through something or somebody, like they're reading your messages, and then they're like, oh, time to go drive out in front of that guy's house for a couple hours.
Also, it's like on a hill too, so everyone's car is like just trying so hard to get up the hill, and so they're just gassing it wicked hard.
Yeah.
But definitely get a new car for sure.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's just like they already passed this once, right? And it got overturned. It got like pulled like immediately.
Yeah, because they put it to a vote and nobody wanted it, and not even like nobody on the board even wanted it. And then Cuomo's like, well, I know the fucking sneakiest way to do this.
How is that even legal to do that?
I don't know, man. Guess it's just a loophole in the system that they're just allowed to fucking do. And I looked at today, I was like, how much longer are we gonna have to deal with this asshole before we have another election? And we have 2022 is the next election for governor.
Well, so Cuomo even was talking about doing like a ban on cigarettes, a temporary ban on cigarettes. He could have, if he knew this strategy, he could have just snuck it in on something like that and passed it.
He could have, but he would have lost a lot of money if he did through to the tobacco companies.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think people at work were asking me about it today, and somebody was like, "Why don't?" She was telling me, she goes, "Well, vape companies are huge. Why don't they just lobby like tobacco?" And I'm like, that is like a preschooler lobbying against like a fucking car salesman.
Yeah,
like,
they're not anywhere near that.
Like she goes, but people in America don't really smoke anymore. And it's like, it's not even America. They make all their money off of Asia.
Yeah, like, India, a bunch of places. Like it's huge.
I also don't even know if that's true. Like there's a lot of smokers still. It's not like it's definitely decreasing.
Ever were.
Sure.
You know what I mean? That's what the point was. But like
still a lot of fucking smokers.
Yeah, obviously, but there's less now than there were. But they make more money off of just Asia now than they ever did off of America ever. Because American cigarette companies are the biggest known ones, and they just export everything to, like Z said, India, China, Japan, and Korea. It's very strange. The culture for cigarette smoking in those countries is still the way that it was here in like the 50s.
Yeah, and over there you can still get flavored cigarettes and shit like that. Like if you go over to like, I don't know, fucking pick a place, Switzerland, you can probably buy a pack of those Camel Crushes that have like berry and menthol, and not just menthol. Like, you know what I mean?
Good.
Like those actually exist. Like Berry Crush actually exists and all that kind of shit. And it will sadly never come here. So.
But that's what's interesting is I don't, like, you could flavor cigarettes too, but is that targeting it to kids?
That's the way they see it, apparently.
Yeah.
It's like, but wait, adults don't like flavors? Is that what you're trying to say? Like only kids like flavors?
Basically. I'm waiting for them to ban flavored booze.
I know, right? Like, how come that's not a thing?
That was my main argument. I was like, you can flavor vodka like cake and fucking gummy bears, but no, if I'm vaping on something that tastes like strawberries, fuck me.
Well, you guys I'm pretty sure that all three of us have been vaping since it was a thing. Like, I remember vaping when I was still in high school. I got my first one when I was like 17.
Well, yeah, because
Yeah,
I was
I had
smoking
those
cigarettes in high school.
Right.
Well, I
And,
had those little disposable one, like the stick ones that looked like the bluey cig. They were like just a
Yeah.
disposable battery.
Yep.
But anyway, I remember there was the big thing when it first started gaining traction and box mods started getting big with popcorn lung, which was like not even really a thing.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Sort of like how everyone was freaking out about THC cartridges when it was all like black market, like fake shit.
Well, that
Yeah.
was kind of scary though. But it's like then again, like
Don't
you're
buy
buying
shit.
it from an unknown source, so
Right.
you
Yeah.
get what you get, and you can't.
Yeah.
Have
How
a thing.
about buy stuff from authorized retailers? You know.
Yeah. Or just buy regular weed.
Yeah, or that.
This was the first vape I ever bought. Do you guys remember these fucking things? You could get them at Botified for like fucking $10. These ones, these little voodoo fuckers.
I had
Oh, I
one of
remember
those.
those.
Yeah, I had one.
I had this exact one, and then I remember I had this one I had one like this, but for pot. You could put actual flour in that.
Huh.
Or no, I had the Snoop Dogg. Didn't you have the G Pen Z?
Yeah, I had a G Pen. I had a bunch of shit. Holy fuck! I had a G Pen. I had. I had the flying lunchbox.
What was the little? It looked like a little USB drive that was a wax pen. That was another G Pen, right?
Yeah, I had that one too. That wasn't a Snoop Dogg one though.
It wasn't.
No, it was just from Grenco Science.
Oh yes.
Because that's the company that makes G Pen is Grenco. It's a C.
Oh,
Yeah, I had one that looks like that too, but
Yep, I had this one. That was fucking sick, dude. I had the ceramic one, and you could literally like pack that shit with wax, and it would last for like a week because it
would
didn't
last, but it tasted like dog shit.
Oh, and I remember mine broke because the wax seeped through this.
Yeah,
I
same here.
I think you were with me, and I went to like pack it, and I just ripped the guts out of it.
Yeah.
I was like,
yeah, those things are so poorly made.
It's like fucking $70 fucking portable dab pen, and I fucking destroyed it. I don't know where my dab pen is now. I got a Yokan Evolve Plus XL.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what I did with it. I haven't had wax in a while, but
see, if I
just
got
used
something
my
like that,
Mexican
if I was smoking weed, it would probably, well, I guess it would be vaping, but it would have to be something drier. But I don't, like I'd rather have I remember back in the day I had one of those flight boxes, and it didn't work for shit. But
mine worked okay, but you had to pack it in the perfect amount. You had to put keef in it, and the battery was never like really good, so you always had to keep it like 100% charged. It was
so weird, dude. It was like, and like it never actually functioned very well for me. Like it would either just combust at a certain point, like it would actually. I might as well just be smoking it.
Yeah.
At a certain point.
It smelled like burnt. It made the whole area you were in just reek of burnt popcorn.
Yeah, and there was no like temperature control or anything like that.
No, just press the battery in and go.
Yeah, you press the battery in. Like, how ghetto was that shit?
It was so ghetto. It was fucked.
I mean, I ended up getting a volcano at one point, and those are sweet as hell. But it's not as I was looking for something portable.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh shit, we lost Jake.
No, I'm talking to somebody. But yeah, well, I had a lot of other of those vapes. I remember the Snoop Dogg G Pen Stubba gave me because he accidentally ordered 2, or maybe it was my other friend. I know one of my friends in college ordered one and they shipped him 2 on accident.
Mm-hmm.
So he gave me the other one, and I remember for a while I ended up just using it as like an electric cigarette lighter because the tank broke off and it just had the coil on it.
Yeah.
Which was pretty sweet.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, well, I
That's
worked at
pretty sick.
Novellus. You're not allowed to have a Bic lighter there, so I didn't have a Zippo at the time, so I used that as an electric lighter. I got one of those atomic lighters, like the one that fucking Big Wes has.
Oh, is it like
Yeah.
one of those electric ones?
Yeah, those things are cool, but the fucking battery will not last you a whole day.
Really?
Like I remember, I could probably like get through half a pack with that before I had to switch to matches.
I always thought Zippos were cool, but I just never I never wanted to refill them.
And you need to refill them so often. I have mine right here, and and if you leave it sitting too long, it'll dry out. So like you're just constantly having to refill it, and mine's just always
dead. Yeah, I think they're cool as shit though. I just think they I don't know, the design is super cool.
I lost the flint for mine.
And then when you can flip it closed, dude, you're so cool when you can flip it closed.
Oh yeah. There's nothing cooler than lighting a cigarette with a Zippo.
Yeah, especially in front of a hot babe with big tits.
Yeah. Like
yeah,
Natalie Portman.
Like a Portman-esque woman.
Portman-esque.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, like that that whole thing that you posted on Facebook, Jake.
Oh, the portly Spanish girl that fucking streamed at me the other day?
No. It was a long time ago.
About Natalie Portman and how she's the reason I go to the gym.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
And how you hate sand and how it's coarse and...
Dude, it's coarse and rough and gets
out.
I
remember that. Yeah. That was a classic.
It's a classic Jones.
I'm so in love with Natalie Portman. It's disgusting. It's a fucking problem.
Yeah, dude, it's weird. I wonder what those movie stars do. How old is Natalie Portman now?
She's like 38.
Because you see some of them and they're just they don't age at all. It feels like Jennifer Aniston, right? She hasn't aged. It feels like at all.
No.
What are they doing? What are they putting in there?
They're extracting the souls of children to make it into a face cream that makes it so you don't age.
I think it's wild that I guessed her age perfectly right too.
Well, I'm not. I don't think that's wild. I'm pretty sure I figured you'd know.
Is she 54?
Who, Natalie Portman?
No, I was talking about Jennifer Aniston.
Oh, I don't know. She's got to be up there, I would imagine.
God, she's fucking beautiful.
Let's see. Jennifer Aniston is 51 years old. Wow.
51.
Yeah.
And she still looks good at 51.
Yeah. She looks
so
great.
I don't know what they're doing, man. But then you see, you also see disasters, Yeah. But, real disasters. Have you seen Britney Spears lately? All the shit that she's been posting? She is wild as shit right now. She's out of her fucking mind.
Yeah.
She's been out of her mind since 98. But
well, yeah. Well, I just love how everyone thinks it's oh no, they're a superstar. They can't go crazy or something and you just you didn't know them before they were famous. They could have been just a complete batshit crazy crackpot asshole that was just good at singing.
Sure. Yeah.
And then they became famous. So
and then you just go Garth Brooks or some shit, and he's a perfect example.
Yeah, that dude is that dude's a serial killer.
But it's I think I wonder how much of it though is when you get famous, how much of your personality does change just being because it's unavoidable being recognized at a certain point. If you're famous enough, you're just going to be recognized everywhere.
Yeah.
And I think there's no way that doesn't have an impact on who you are. And there's people I hear that Ashton Kutcher is a really nice guy actually, and he's pretty down to earth and shit. But there's no way that he would have been the same person had he not gotten super famous off of the shows that he's done. He definitely has had a lot of shit that kind of shit molds you. There's no avoiding it. There's absolutely no avoiding it.
I think Butterfly Effect did a good job at grounding him in reality.
Yeah, probably.
I feel once you have a blunder like that,
Yeah,
The
yeah.
problem is when you have hit after hit, like guys like Johnny Depp, dude. Johnny Depp's a fucking lunatic.
Yeah, he started posting on like Instagram or some shit. It's fucking hilarious.
I was supposed
So
to
that
talk.
dude's just doing blow and banging hookers all the time, probably.
Yeah, he's
so.
like, I only have 37 houses or whatever. It's like, it's
Yeah.
whatever.
I'm on my 7th wife. It's cool, dude.
It's fine. We're good.
Yeah, fucking. I'm trying to think. There's tons of, dude. Like, I'm surprised that more athletes aren't crazy.
They probably are. They just don't get enough time to talk on TV.
You get
They're just like, all right, that's great, big boy. Go throw the ball.
You get guys like you obviously get guys like Antonio Brown and John Jones that are pretty fucking insane. But then you get like, dude, I find it so funny when like athletes get arrested for shit. It's never anything that you or I would get arrested for.
Like Michael Vick was like, you have a dog fighting ring, dude? What the fuck?
Well,
yeah.
So far as Ed Oliver for the Bills, he's their nose tackle. He fucking got arrested for a DUI and having an unlicensed firearm in his car. But the best part is that apparently while the cop was questioning him, he fucking grabbed a beer from his center console and cracked it open while he was talking to the cop.
That's awesome.
That's just somebody who doesn't give a shit and who just thinks they're untouchable. You're just like,
Yes.
what are you gonna do? I'm this person.
It certainly isn't a lack of awareness because everyone knows that you can't do that.
Yeah.
So, I think it's like this idea of like immunity. Like there's a certain level of celebrity to where you think you're immune to certain things.
Yeah.
But then it's like you get guys that are just super level-headed too. Like, dude, Pat McAfee is awesome. He was a punter for the Colts for a long time, and he's got a show now, like a sports show, and he's hilarious. He does stand-up and stuff like that, and he seems like a really down-to-earth guy. And he does a show with AJ Hawk. He used to be a linebacker for the Packers, and he seems like a nice guy too. And it's like they seem like they're intelligent guys. They're well-spoken, and they played football. So it's like, yeah, there's a level of CTE. And especially if you're AJ Hawk, who's a fucking linebacker who's constantly hitting guys, it's like, yeah, you probably have CTE, but he was a smart guy,
I feel like a lot of athletes are probably, I would say most athletes are probably good people. I think it's once you get to like the super mega talented, like guys like Michael Jordan, good dude, maybe, fucking psycho. Kobe Bryant, Kobe Bryant, may he rest in peace. Good dude, crazy, maybe a rapist. Like Karl Malone, great player, Hall of Famer, is a rapist, but turned his life around.
Well, it's also interesting what the difference in intellect between positions is too. So, like, if you have a quarterback, the guy, like, those guys are usually pretty smart.
Yeah, they're like the top of their class, like valedictorian-esque motherfuckers.
And they're also football smart. But like you got a guy who's just, a fucking outside linebacker and all he knows is like I pushed this guy over and then I tackle the other guy.
Well,
I grab check, I go home.
There's like a correlation with like skill positions. Like wide receivers and corners usually do pretty bad on the Wonderlic. I'm pretty sure like Morris Claiborne is functionally illiterate. He got like a 3 on the IQ test for the NFL, or a 5. Wow. He got the lowest score ever. They're pretty sure he doesn't know how to read. Yeah. But I'm pretty sure it's like quarterbacks and offensive linemen get the best scores. Centers, I think centers and guards. Centers specifically get the highest scores because
centers are really smart from what I've seen.
Up so much information.
Yeah. You'd think middle linebackers would too. They're absorbing a lot of shit too at the line of scrimmage.
But hockey, like it same thing goes for hockey. Like the defense or like the bruiser guys who just go out and like make sure to mash people up. Like those guys are usually the dumber dudes, and then the captains are the fucking.
Like even in those higher paced, like faster paced sports, there's a lot of calculating going on all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And that was, I think we talked about it last time. That's why Gretzky was so good, because he was always like, he was good at anticipating everything.
Yeah.
He knew what was going to happen.
Dude, Gretzky wasn't even fair. He's not even fair as like a competitor. Like
It was like if you made like a 99 overall creative character and then just went and won like the championship every year. Like
you
just
played on
easy.
you played on like rookie mode or some shit.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I love the people. Like obviously the big ticket right now is people are talking about the Last Dance documentary with Michael Jordan, which is like everyone knew how good Michael Jordan was, and it seemed to function mostly as a smear campaign for all of his contemporaries, which is fine.
Right.
But there's this quote.
Well, he had final edit on this thing too. Jordan did.
There's this quote that he says, or somebody says, where it's like when you say someone is the Michael Jordan of something, you know that they're the
basketball.
Best.
Yeah.
Like it's like this guy's the Michael Jordan of brain surgery. He's the Michael Jordan of making his own pasta. He's the Michael Jordan of singing.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, there's not another athlete that's like that. And all of a sudden, people were talking, and they're like, well, Wayne Gretzky is that. Like, Wayne Gretzky.
Yeah,
like,
why aren't people the Wayne Gretzky of stuff?
You can make the argument that Michael Jordan is not the greatest of all time. You cannot make the argument that Gretzky is not. You also can't argue that Don Bradman isn't the greatest cricket player of all time, but I don't know what cricket is, so it doesn't matter.
I don't even know who the fuck pays attention to cricket.
Mostly
well, you know what?
India and the other rest of the world. It's like the second most watched sport in the world.
Are you
really? Yeah.
That blows my mind. I thought like
really
soccer would be
though.
like the number one.
Soccer is number one. Cricket's number two.
Oh, okay.
I think
it's a good point because there's definitely sports where there's one athlete that's S tier, and then everyone else is A. Like, I mean, Tiger Woods was that, essentially. He was unbeatable. So it's like he's on this level above all these athletes that are Hall of Fame guys, basically. And that's where Gretzky was. So, like, you see, you know, like you said, it's like with Jordan, yeah, there's guys that are comparable to him. But, like, is it like Jordan's closer to A tier, or is it that these guys are also on S tier? Like,
I think it's the second one.
Yeah.
I think if S tier is like greatest of all time conversation, you could argue like four dudes. You could argue Jordan, Kareem, LeBron,
That's
and
what I was thinking.
Johnson.
Dude,
Or
Kareem like never
Kareem
gets talked about.
Wilt Chamberlain. Kareem did a really good job of staying out of the limelight, but he also had his best years in the 70s when nobody gave a shit about the NBA.
Yeah.
Right.
So what about Larry Bird?
Larry Bird's up there.
Yeah.
He's pretty solidly like 6th or 7th. Most of the lists I see, like going from 1st to 10th, you get like normally you get like Michael Jordan, LeBron, Wilt Chamberlain, or Kareem. It's like MJ, LeBron, Kareem, Magic Johnson, Wilt Chamberlain. Then you get like Shaq, Tim Duncan, Larry Bird, Hakeem Olajuwon, and fucking Kobe. That's usually...
Well, part of the argument, too, is like Jordan came in when basketball was like a mid-tier sport and then kind of brought it up to that level of like the NFL. And, you know, people were more watching football and, you know, baseball and stuff at the time, I would imagine. The NBA's ratings weren't as high.
He came in like right at the upswing because Magic and Larry Bird really made the NBA what it is. Because they were the first guys that were like huge rivals all throughout college, and then got drafted to the two biggest teams in the NBA in the Lakers and the Celtics. Yeah. And then they both immediately were amazing. Like Magic Johnson, I think, is the only player to win Finals MVP in his rookie season. And Larry Bird.
I mean, those guys are really the reason, like, you see like Celtics fans, like, and Lakers fans, like a lot of those fans, just because of those guys.
Yeah.
You know,
and a lot of people watch basketball because of those guys. But then you get people that are like, my dad only watched basketball for Michael Jordan. Like, he doesn't even like basketball, but he's like, you had to watch it. You had to watch him play.
Well, that's sort of a Mike Tyson effect. You know, it's like people wanted to watch Mike Tyson or like Ali or somebody.
Yeah, like I remember last year when Tiger Woods won the Masters, or the year before when he won the Masters. It was like I remember sitting down and watching the whole final round for like 3 hours just because I was like, he might win this again, and it was fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Uh,
But there's definitely that like level to where like they're unavoidable. You know, like over in other countries, like people like places that didn't even really watch basketball, like they would know who Michael Jordan was. Like the guy was, you know, that popular just in pop culture.
And as much as I hate to say it, as much as I fucking despise saying it, I feel like even though he's not, like, he was good at the game he played at the time, but I think Ninja is sort of a similar person to what, like the video game, like, competitive video gaming is to people, because, like, nobody really was paying that much attention anyways to competitive gaming until Ninja was starting to fucking pop up everywhere on like every single Fortnite thing. I feel like anyway.
I have never watched him, and I know
I haven't either.
Looks like that's I've never watched him before, and I know what he looks like.
Exactly.
I've seen
He's like a decent dude, right? Isn't he like a nice guy?
He's a psychopath. He's a psychopath.
So yeah, he's a decent guy.
Like, the guy, I mean, he seems like in person he would be a decent guy, but like, I don't know, from the shit that I've watched, it just seems like the dude's just kind of nuts because he's just so intensely serious about the video games he plays. He's like, if you don't play the game this way or this certain way, and if you're not doing it this way, you shouldn't be fucking playing it at all.
Okay, yeah.
It's like he's one of those fucking people, and I'm just like, I don't know.
That's pretty dumb. The guy who just won the Madden 20 championships played in his whole style was run the ball only. He didn't throw the ball at all during the entire tournament. Everyone else is throwing the ball, and he won the fucking tournament. Which, number one, it speaks to how broken Madden is, but it's just there's different ways to play these games. It's not like you have to go by like this blueprint that all these professional players are playing by.
Yeah,
that's not how it works.
Yeah, it's actually kind of ironic.
Did you see that? Because like the kid, like the way they do these tournaments is you can draft a team. You get like a certain cap space. You draft a team and like you have to pick and choose because obviously you can't stack your team with all 99s or whatever. But like you have to. Like the way he drafted was all like offensive line and running back and then all defense. And he just ran the ball the entire tournament. His quarterback was a fucking punter and he had like a cap space or he had like a wicked low cap like Eli Manning or some shit as like a backup quarterback. And he won the Madden championships just by running the football.
I'm glad.
So he basically exploited how bad like the game is over the years, which is good. Or this year, at least. And I think that's great because EA needs it shoved in their face. Yeah. You know, like someone like that needs to exploit the game and go, hey, this is what we can do because your game's broken. I can just beat all these professional players. And it's not even an exploit. It's just part of the game.
The crazy thing to me, and Zemiah can attest to this, we play like the other EA sports games. Like we play Chell whenever we hang out, and NHL literally gets better every year. Literally, like.
Well, the gameplay, yes.
The gameplay, yeah.
The visuals, yes, but no, because I find that in Chell 20, there's so like if you're just like watching the background, or if it goes to a point where like the ref blows the whistle and it's just that little cut video afterwards where you're waiting to like line up like go to a face off again, that shit gets really glitchy sometimes, like super glitchy.
But I think it's only like 10 animations that they have in the game, and they just it's just like a random shot of one of those.
As far as like the skating and the deking and shooting and stuff, like each game, in my opinion, I think gets better than the last.
Well, I mean, even the pro FIFA players, I was reading an article earlier, and they were saying that like most of the pro players don't even like to play the game. Like they don't enjoy playing the game, but it's like their job now. They're just pro players, so.
Isn't there another soccer game that's like that they prefer to play? Well, I forget what it's called.
Pro Evolution Soccer. It's
yes, yeah,
it's wicked good. It's so much better than FIFA. It's like an actual simulation. The only problem is that they don't have the money that EA does, so they don't have a lot of actual teams.
Yeah, I figured that'd be the problem.
It's so good. Like,
see, that's part of the problem with EA though, is they don't go for it. Doesn't seem like they're going towards simulation. They're more arcadey in general.
And
like
I feel like
have somewhat been more arcadey. It seems like.
Yeah, and I feel like they don't do much work on them. It's an expected game every year where everyone expected. It's just like Call of Duty. There's gonna be one every single year. You know when it's gonna come out.
And so do they. So do they.
So it's just another game that they shit out every single year. So like they're gonna stop paying attention to certain shit, and there's just not gonna be putting like new stuff in like that's super drastically new. Unless
the only thing that they're gonna add to the game is another way for you to spend money.
Yeah, or a new mode or something. What I think was really cool about Chell 20 is they added in the ones. Yeah,
dude, that was the best. That was the best shit.
Yeah.
What's that?
It's basically you can play it with multiple people, but it's a way for you. It's just one person versus a goalie, and you're on half a court, and you see how many times you can score against it. Or that one person.
So it's like a shootout.
Basically? Kind of, but like, or the better way to play it is if you have CPU players in, so it's in each person is their own team. Yeah. And you're just all playing against each other, trying to shoot on one goal. It's pretty fun, and you play as
like half
you can
court.
pick different. Yeah,
it's like half a rink, and the goalie is where the goalie is, and then the other three people are all against each other, scoring on the same goal.
Oh, that's kind of sick, actually.
Dude, we played that for like 2.5 hours the last time we hung out. It was that good.
And then it turned into everybody bully PK Subban.
Yeah.
Do you remember that game, NHL Hits?
EA stopped making games that promoted violence because of the whole concussion thing with sports.
It was like NFL Blitz, but it was hockey.
Right.
I played it.
So it was basically just like an over-the-top, like violent hockey game where you would just like basically missile guys off of their feet and shit, just like super hard checks, like body checks and shit.
You don't have that more.
And it was great. And like every time you hit the puck's on fucking fire and shit.
Yeah, that shit in Chell is when you hit someone so hard that the ref blows the whistle and they have to get carried off the ice. You're just like, oh.
I love that. Like when a guy's just speeding down the side, I guess the boards or something, and you just pick him off wicked hard. That's the best feeling, though.
My favorite
don't
thing,
get up.
My favorite thing in Chell was I had everyone convinced that I only knew how to play using NHL 94 controls. And then I whipped out the skill stick and shredded Zemiah.
I was like, yeah, the first time I had you over to this apartment to play, and I was like, aren't you going to switch to Chell 95? And you're like, what are you talking about? I was like, you only play with 95 controls. Every time you play, you've only ever played with 95. You're like, oh, yeah. Here's the thing.
You're like, cool, watch this.
Yeah, and you just fucking broke my world. Yeah, that was cool.
Well, like, we went to college together, and we would get drunk and play Chell all the time, and mostly to bug John and Dan because they were hardcore into it. I would play with 94 controls, and it was so broken. It was like Chell 14 or 15 back then.
Yeah, I think it was 16.
Controls or 16. You can mash circle to check somebody. But like check, poke, check, and shoot were all the same button. So if you check someone in the slot and you mash circle, you just fucking swing like and shoot immediately. So like I would have like 45 checks, I would have like 60 shots, and I would win like 3-0. Like I was the most inefficient team ever.
Yeah.
But yeah,
that's frustrating.
I played with Zemiah and I switched to the skill stick, and I was like, oh, I lied.
Yeah. Bamboozled thoroughly.
It was fun doing that. I like doing that. Like I did that to Dan's brother Nick when I lived with Sam on Van Buren. We were playing 2K together, and I hustled the shit out of him. and I used only Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and only shot with skyhooks, and I beat him like 88-50 with just Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
That's so
Is there
funny.
anything that makes you more blood red mad than playing a sports game with your friend on the couch and getting your ass whooped by them?
Oh, no.
Or like-
no.
No, because Seth kicks my ass in every sports game we play, and that's why I don't play with him.
Actually, one thing that gets me more angry is when when I talk myself up in Call of Duty and then I get into a lobby with my friends and I get shit on and I'm in the last place and I'm like, what the fuck? What the fuck?
Dude, that happened to me the other night. We were playing, me, Wes, and Graham were playing, and it was like the fucking it was the fucking map. The fuck's it called? It has like the garage on one side, the building on the other, and it's got like the oil tanker in the back. The fuck's it called now? I can't remember it.
I think I know what you're talking about. Is it Gun Run?
Runner. Modern Warfare. No, it's where's there's no list of maps.
And which one?
The newest one.
Oh, I don't know that.
We got to start playing that again if you're playing it again, Jake, because
I'm down.
I've been playing a lot.
Oh, Hackney Yard.
Oh, yeah, Hackney Yard's kind of shitty. Not a fan of that one.
So we started playing it again the other night, and I was like, "Oh my god, I love this map! I was wicked good at this map," and I went like 5-19.
Yeah. Well, it happens to me in Halo sometimes because like everybody knows like I played a lot of Halo at like when I was growing up, and then I get into a game with a couple people, and then I end up shitting wicked hard, or like usually I'm top of the leaderboard, and then it's just like, oh, you went 4-17 because this map's trash.
I am absolute garbage at Halo. Like, I thought I was decent at shooters until I went on Halo, and I was just like, I am just trash. But it's such a different shooter. It's like trying to pick up Quake.
Right. Yeah, it's definitely like the original Halos are a lot based on like strafing and headshots is really the whole game.
Yeah.
And if you haven't played it a lot, you don't there's a very specific feel you get for like where you have to move and how you have to strafe and shit like that.
Yeah. And I don't have that. So I just go into a match and I'm just like, well, fuck it.
Yeah.
And
you just jump around.
Yeah, I get pooped on. I use the pistol and get pooped on.
Yeah. The Halo 1 pistol is so cheesy.
You just jump around.
The most portable sniper rifle in any video game. Jump.
We're gonna get copyright strikes for whistling it. So yeah, Rogan's moving to fucking Spotify. That's crazy as shit.
That was huge news to me. That blew me away. I didn't think he would ever move to Spotify.
I didn't think so either, but I think I get why he's doing it. And it's because, so I read an article earlier that was saying that Spotify is working on like this new UI for podcasts where it's, it's like a regular podcast app, but like if you click on a podcast and it has a video version, it'll start playing the video version as well. And it'll still play when you lock your phone as an audio version. So it'll just be like a 2-in-1 thing.
That's awesome.
And
hope they do that.
That's what they're working on apparently.
That'd be awesome for you guys.
Yeah, that'd be perfect. And so it's like I think he did that for number one for that, and number two, he always talks about YouTube's algorithm and copyright and all that shit. And I think he's trying to do what he can to get away from that. Yeah. And they had to give him a lot of money for this because he's going to miss out on all the YouTube monetization money.
Yeah.
So they got to pay him a good. I mean, imagine how much it costs to acquire that podcast.
Yeah, but he can still probably get all that money from his sponsors without being on YouTube.
Sure.
Because he can just do the sponsor reads on the podcast itself, like not even having to do it on video. because
Right.
YouTube ads, like, they require you to be on YouTube and watching the actual video. But like with his sponsors, he just has to do a simple read. So I don't think he's going to be losing out on that much money. But I do know that YouTube revenue is a pretty fucking hefty chunk. So he is going to.
I don't think he's going to lose out on anything. I think Spotify's going to pay him enough to where, it's making up for that loss in monetization.
Somebody like hypothesized that they must have paid him somewhere near like 9 figures, like somewhere around $100 million.
I would say it's got to be 100 mil. For sure.
Nuts. That's absolutely nuts.
That's
an inconceivable amount of money.
I mean, just his video episodes get 30 to 50 million views.
Fucking so I listen to the Cumtown podcast. It's my favorite fucking podcast on the internet right now. And they have a Patreon. And the three of them, they're also big comedians in like New York City. And 3 of them on the Patreon, just Patreon, not like their ads or anything, make like 60 grand or something, like 53,000, I think.
Holy shit.
And I'm like, dude, they make in 1 month pretty much what my dad makes in a year. Like,
yeah, one of my favorite D&D podcasts I listen to, when they first started out, they're like, all right, so we're going to do a trial run on a store to see if you guys would want any merch. And then the next episode, they're like, well, you bought us out of all of our merch, so we know that the wand is there.
Yeah.
And like every time they do another release, they would just keep getting bought out. So they ended up just making a store and then making a Patreon so people could get access to certain like types of merch. Like anybody who just watches the podcast could just get the regular merch, but there's exclusive merch for people who are on the Patreon.
Right.
And then there was also like you could get bonus episodes for like side quests and shit like that on the Patreon as well as like a commentary podcast on like what they're doing in between shit like that. It's really cool.
And that's the thing is when you're making that much money from it, you have like it's your job, so you can make a lot of content. You can constantly be putting out content, so you can provide that content for people that are paying you on Patreon.
Yeah.
You can provide the extra content, and then people go, oh, how come why do you have a podcast? Everybody has a podcast. Well, that's why, because you can make a shit ton of money off of it if you ever go big on it.
Yeah,
it's like the
Pretty
biggest
much.
podcasts in the world are gigantic and they're fun to do. So
like Joe Rogan probably has the funnest life that you can think of. Like the dude does whatever he wants to do and just
the crazy thing is he's just like into MMA, so he's like, oh, I guess I can just commentate MMA.
Yeah.
And then he's like, I enjoy doing stand-up, so I'm just gonna be a stand-up. It's like he could quit any one of those jobs if he wanted to.
Yeah, and just be a hunter.
Yeah, and just do the podcast.
Yeah.
He could live on just the podcast.
He could.
I mean, easily.
He really could.
Which is like, that's insane considering he's doing 2 other like actual jobs that
He's a
anyone
fucking commentator for the MMA.
Yeah, it's
For
like
UFC,
anybody like there's guys who are just commentators for for any MMA organization. That's their whole job. That's their only job.
Yeah.
Like the fact that he has 3 sources of income like that he's got to be just rolling in it. Like it's insane.
Was he doing the podcast back when he was on Fear Factor?
He started
I don't know.
6.
I don't know when his first one was. When he was doing it, like originally though, it was just like kind of like a live chat sort of thing. He'd do it with people. I don't know if he had like fans call in or whatever. I don't remember.
Okay. I remember when the Trailer Park Boys tried to make a podcast. It was decent for a while, and then it was just like,
I think it was like some of it was paid too. Like there was a video version, but I think it was paid.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, the pay.
Joe Rogan started in 2009.
Okay.
And then, well, Fear Factor was running for a long time, wasn't it?
Not really.
I don't know. I know it was. It was running for a decent amount of time. Just.
Yeah, they did quite a few seasons, I thought.
They did 6. So, yeah, he started the podcast in 2009, and Fear Factor's second run was in 2011.
Fear Factor's first run was in 2001 to 2006, and then it was 2011 to 2012, and then 2017 to 2018.
And that was with like
That
Nick,
was with
or Nick Cannon.
I thought what's his face was gonna do it.
Nick
Ludacris.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
I think
Ludacris,
Ludacris
yeah.
was gonna do that. Yeah.
They aren't the same guy, Jake.
They're kind of
Yeah,
the same.
because right here, Joe Rogan and Ludacris does the MTV one. Because it was on NBC before,
got, like,
which is
taken off the
wild.
For like having girls animal cum or something, weren't they?
Yeah, they were having them do some real suggestive ass shit on NBC.
Yeah, sure. They were eating. I'm pretty sure they were eating dicks. It's at one point.
Yeah, they were eating like testicles and penis and fucking shit. It was weird.
Which is fine.
Yeah,
You know?
it's cool. And all the girls were half naked most of the time on it too.
They're like, yeah, it's gonna be really messy, so you're gonna have to get butt naked.
Yeah, it was early 2000s, dude.
Yeah.
Everyone's listening to Sugar Ray and doing meth. It's a good time.
Yeah.
Man,
Sugar
this makes me think about how crazy it must have been to be like our age, but in like 1994. Like, Nirvana was a thing still. Ecstasy was becoming a thing. Video games were getting really weird.
Yeah.
Like, people forgot about AIDS already because we were doing so much ecstasy. Like,
Yeah. Everyone's coming down from the cocaine epidemic.
Yeah, like Pink Floyd just released the Division Bell in 1994. Like,
Yeah.
damn, dude, it's fucking wild, bro.
You were allowed to shake people's hands. You didn't have to wear masks.
Yeah.
I think the problem that I would have with that is like there's no. I don't find anything from back then to be quite funny, like TV show wise. I love my Adult Swim and my South Park, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think how people treated black people back then was really funny either. So I don't think I really yearned for those days. But
It wasn't
for
funny,
you guys, it would have
for
been
sure.
great.
Well, half of you would.
Half of me, I guess. Yeah. I was trying to make that go into a joke somewhere, and it just ended up sad. So I apologize.
It's you live in Oswego, New York. You've never experienced racism before. I'm kidding, obviously.
Yeah.
It's fucking insane. I experienced racism, and I'm not even a race.
You're not?
Well, I don't know what I am. I tell people something different every time they ask. But up until I was like,
Hopefully you're Armenian.
that
Yeah,
might
you could-
work. Serbian, I've been going with for a while.
Yeah, you could pull that
worked.
off.
Yeah, but dude, up until I was like 12 or 13, everyone thought I was a Vietnamese kid, and people used to call me the rice farmer.
What?
Yeah, dude.
Seems pretty good.
I got bullied a lot for being Asian, and I wasn't even Asian. That's like a John Mulaney bit. Like, John Mulaney has a bit about that, and that's literally what happened to me.
I don't know. You seem pretty Asian, like overall. You know what I mean?
You know what it was I had a bowl cut. I was really tan when I was a kid. I had really squinty eyes because
You had
my
buck
I
teeth.
was always smiling. I did have fucked up teeth when I was a kid too.
You just had
And
the 2 buck teeth in the fucking middle.
the fucking hat. But I did taekwondo, so that's what fucking gave it away to everybody.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, if you do taekwondo, you're Asian. That's pretty much definitive.
Well, small child brain. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. You know what's wild? So I've been growing my beard out. It looks really good.
Yeah,
I
it looks good.
switched. So I did goatee and then shaved the cheeks and then let the cheeks grow back in. So my goatee
Yeah.
is it's like a couple steps ahead. But I have like my beard is red. I haven't grown my beard out like this in a while, and my fucking beard is red-ish.
My goatee gets red too. It's weird.
Got like tinges of red.
Huh.
Yeah.
Red and black. It's fucking mental, dude. I look like a Ghost Rider promo poster.
I guess. It's like you kind of have like an accentuated goatee. You know what I mean? It's like it's got like a accent to it.
Yeah, like an Asian person.
It's pretty Asian looking. I'm not gonna lie. I thought you were Asian when I came in here.
Yeah, I gotta run to Burned Area because I just realized the only liquid I have to drink is bourbon. So I'll be back in like 6 minutes.
Oh.
Okay.
Do you want to keep going or to pause or?
We could take a break.
Okay. Well, we'll be right back. You guys won't even know it.
Yeah.
I don't. All right, we're back. So
We got
our
Graham.
buddy, yeah, we got our buddy Graham.
Cheers, boys.
Oh.
You're for having me. Oh yeah.
Blue light is the
I've been
move.
drinking tons of
Okay,
it.
so I do have the two
Mine's
things.
not showing up.
This is just a Heimlich flashlight.
I'm holding a can of Heimlich flashlight. Oh wait, no, blue light. There, yeah.
So before I mention the two things, by the way, were Scrim's new album and Doug Stanhope just surprise bombed a new special.
I heard. Where can you see that? That's what I need to figure out.
Vimeo.
Okay, I'm gonna open a
But
tab.
it's also on iTunes, the audio version. I've only listened to the first 12 minutes, and he starts off by he goes, well, I'm gonna start the show off with my closer because the closer makes me the happiest because it makes everyone uncomfortable. And this is why. It's about me making fun of dead kids. That's how the show starts. And I was like, yep, all right, let's do it, Doug. But it's really good so far. Like I said, it's an hour and a half long, and I've listened to the first 12 minutes, 15 minutes maybe, and it's wicked great. But Scrim's new album, A Man Rose from the Dead. I don't know Seth or Graham really listen to the Suicide Boys, but Scrim is one of the members, and he just did this like, I don't even know how to describe it. It's like is it lo-fi, Zemiah? Like how would you? It's still it's like still rap, but it's not like, it's like a Post Malone sort of vibe.
Kinda, yeah. Yeah, that's probably the best way to describe it.
Yeah, it's like, but it's very, very, very dark. Like he wrote the whole fucking album while he was in rehab.
Yeah, the whole thing is about his journey of getting off of heroin. So
Yeah, so
it's pretty
like,
dark.
It's pretty sweet because I'm only a few weeks away from being 4 years clean, and listening to that, I've literally listened to it multiple times a day, every day since it dropped. Like, it's like someone took all of my thoughts and memories and experiences and was just like, this is what you meant. And I was like, yeah, that's it. Naloxone, which is Narcan, but that song is like literally, it's when Joey Diaz talks about when he did heroin and he said it put him in a state of momo-ness.
Yeah.
You just Joe Rogan, let me tell you, when you do heroin, Joe Rogan, you're just in a state of momo-ness. You're just floating around and just living around and moving around in your head. That's literally what that felt like. Like listening to that song was like it was like what my internal monologue was whenever I got fucking high off that shit. Like it was just thought loops and sadness.
Yeah.
And it's just awesome, man. It's so good. I'm so happy for Scrim. I love the Suicide Boys, obviously, but like if them being clean also has the two of them making different, also wicked good music, then that's a double win. Like if he was like, if they went, we're gonna go sober, which means we're done making music, I'd be like, fuck it, that's fine, good for you.
Mm-hmm.
But apparently Ruby is producing his solo album that's supposed to come out by the end of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Which is the rumor, which would be fucking amazing.
Yeah,
like,
Scrim does a lot of producing too, so I don't see either of them going anywhere. Like they're not going anywhere,
dude. And their beats are so good. I was talking to a guy at work about it, about Scrim's new album and the Suicide Boys in general, and he was telling me he only got into them because of all their beats.
Yeah,
and he would just listen to the beats and stuff, and then like he went through like a really rough patch and started listening to them, and that's what happened to me. Like I started listening to them, and I'm pretty sure I exclusively listened to the two of them for like 8 to 10 months. Like digging through their entire discography, all their SoundCloud shit. Like,
Yeah, their SoundCloud shit's probably my favorite. Like Ruby's stuff by himself is just
oh my God,
so fucking good.
it's so funny that those guys literally started out as SoundCloud rappers, and like they're two of the biggest names.
See, I can never, I guess just because I play guitar, I can never get into it. Like, I understand the appeal of electronic music as far as like beats go. Like, I can definitely get into some of it for sure. But it's a matter of like, because I play guitar, I want to hear other people that play guitar.
Right.
Only. Yeah. And also, I just, like, nowadays it's like everything is just trying super hard to be like music that's difficult to play, and that's really irritating to me, because it's like, why can't people don't focus on songwriting anymore. It's like they focus on technicality and speed and shit like that.
Because it's impressive. It's really impressive. That's why I like it a lot.
Sure.
I really like technical music because it's the shit that I would never be able to play as a guitarist. Because that's what I like to listen to in my, like, when I listen to my metal music, I like to listen to shit that I would never be able to play in like a million fucking years, because it just blows my mind how somebody gets that intricate with how they play.
Yeah. I mean, it's impressive in that it's difficult to play, sure. I think it's also impressive to be able to write songs, like catchy songs.
Here's the thing with the really fast technical stuff, as in like melody and chorus and stuff like that. The real like grabbers of the song that like hook you in, that's kind of less often. It's where like, I don't know, I would have to say I'm stubborn and old in my ways, and it's hard for me to kind of find new music that I actually like am down to check out. But like Gojira is like as technical and as fast as like I like it. Anything like a little faster than that, it's just like, okay, like that was an intense like 15-second part, but isn't like that the switch of it, just the way it transitioned just felt like unnatural, and like a big the transitions of songs. And can I keep up with it and like actually like sit there and groove to it and certain things. So I like it like knocked down a peg or two. But yeah, sure. I feel like it can fly off the handle a little too easily now.
Well, definitely Gojira is good at blending those riffs together for sure. So like you're saying, like with transitions and stuff. But anything that's more technical and has like constantly changing time signatures and things like that, like a Periphery or Between the Buried and Me, or like even like a Protested Hero or some shit. It's like those bands, they're changing signature all the time. They're changing they're even changing like tempos and like key changes, and it's like, yeah, it's cool, and it's like you just have to learn how to do it right, like to be able to compose it correctly. That's the hard part, and that comes from that shit. It comes from music theory, I guess, and it also comes from just a natural feel for music too. I think there's a lot of people that never took a music theory class or never took any music classes ever, and they write better music than guys who fucking are, top level in music theory.
Yeah.
But it's just because they, have a feel for what needs to happen here and what needs to happen here, how I get from here to here.
I like a lot of, especially because Zemiah and Stubba and Dan got me wicked into the Suicide Boys and like that type of rap. Like Ghostmane, Zemiah got me into Ghostmane, and that was it for me, dude. I was like, Ghostmane is fucking crazy. But I like a lot of, when I listen to music, I want it to match my mood. And I find that's why I listen to a lot of stuff. I think I mentioned it. I had Aaron Berlin give me like a fucking list of black metal bands, and then gave me like little snippets of like, oh, you might like these guys because of this and this and this. And it's so funny because like I'll listen to it at work or when I'm around here, and I have no idea what is going on, but I can feel what's going on. But
well, I like Graydon Square a lot because he's very it's like very mood oriented. Like his albums are very mood oriented.
That's why I like Aesop Rock as much as I do too.
Right.
Aesop's rap is just stupid, dude. It's like so many people find it to be extremely pretentious, but
Well, he's also got a pretty specific
so
voice. Like his sound is very specific.
yeah.
Same
Well,
with
that's like
Deltron.
all-
Do you guys
that's-
ever listen to Deltron?
Yes, you showed me him, I think.
I haven't yet.
Yep.
No.
But
He's pretty fucking crazy.
Graham is actually the one that got me into all those rhyme sayers guys. Graham got me into Idea and Atmosphere back in high school, and all the guys in rhyme
Idea and
sayers,
abilities.
Yeah.
like Prof. We were talking about Prof. Graham and I the other night, and Prof is fucking amazing.
You got
But then you also have like fucking
Brother,
Namdi,
yeah.
because
Brother-
Namdi is completely different.
Oh, Namdi is fucking wild, dude. Namdi and Leprous are probably like, and this is, I think I mentioned this before, the only person that I will 100% listen to music they recommend me is B-Fam, because he's shown me so much good fucking music that I cannot even doubt him anymore.
Yeah.
Like, but I'm still not gonna watch Critical Role. Sorry, Brian. I know you're watching.
Critical Role is trash.
I like that
But,
people,
like, yeah, you showed me Great and Square, Namdi, Windmills, which is sick. Windmills samples a
yeah,
lot.
Windmills is sick. Yeah, I love
Samples
Windmills.
a lot of Dark Souls and Bloodborne soundtracks into his rap songs,
Oh, word.
which is wicked wild.
Yeah, it's cool.
Oh,
He showed me Leprous. Leprous is wicked good. He got me into Ghosts. The Deer Hunter.
Deer Hunter. Yeah.
Deer Hunter.
You ever-
Wicked.
did you ever check out Gizmo?
Gizmo.
Yeah.
Yes, you had me listen to him one of the times we hung out. You have given me a ton of good music too. Actually, most people have.
Oh, you know what's a good band that Brian showed me was Reign of Kindo. Have you ever heard of them?
Oh yes, he also showed me Zeal and Ardor and the Parlor Mob. So fucking game set match, dude. Zeal and Ardor is the weirdest band. They're African American soul music, so like slavery music, like the it's got the chorus is like the the fucking shit where it's like, I'm in the field and I'm working hard, or whatever the fuck they would sing back then. I don't know.
the lyrics, but I mean,
Yeah.
No, fucking Django shit. I'm sorry, whatever. But it's like black metal with like soul music. It's like
that's awesome.
it's fucking crazy. Wicked good band.
I think I'm talking about once before.
But my dad showed me this band a while ago called the Teskey Brothers, and they are R&B soul. But they're all from like fucking Melbourne, Australia, and they are fucking amazing. Literally, it's the music is lifting, but the lyrics are fucking depressing. Like it's
yeah, I can appreciate music when like bands when they can mix genres like that, but like only if they can do it well, you know.
You should check out King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard. Have you ever listened to them, Graham?
Sounds like an Adult Swim show.
No,
It
that
does.
goes off the tongue really well.
They're this band my buddy Shane showed me in college, and they're this like this experimental jam band from Australia, and literally what they do is whenever they make a new album, each guy in the band picks a different genre to write their parts with, and then they blend it together. So like they have an album that's like it's like progressive surfer metal. Like
That's cool.
like
I have a
So
cool
weird.
band. 12 Foot Ninja is a really good metal band that's from Australia, and they mix it up with their genres too. Seth knows what I'm talking about, but they're like hippie music mixed with djenti metal slash
Yeah.
stuff. It's pretty cool. Yeah.
They're a really good band, yeah, and they're very creative with like their transitions and the way they put all that together.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Their singer is
Lamb
very
of God's
unique
new
too.
album was really good.
What was it? What were you saying?
The singer from 12 Foot Ninja is really unique too. I like his
Oh, yeah.
voice.
Yeah.
I didn't hear the new Lamb of God album though.
I haven't either. Yeah.
It's I don't think it's 100% out yet, but they've been teasing songs on it on Spotify.
I'm just
Let me see
disappointed that I can't
New
see
Colossal Hate.
Megadeth and Lamb of God.
I had Tool tickets, dude, and that show got canceled. I was bummed.
Oh, I just wonder, like, I wouldn't want to see Tool right now after their new album. That's the thing, because you wonder how much of the new stuff they'd play. And I wasn't a big fan of the new album.
It grows on you. So there's a few songs that I'm not the biggest fan of, but the more you listen to it, it's the same, but it's different.
Yeah.
I like that it has that feel to it. But yeah, it is a little different. I like their older stuff more. But I think
it felt like it was a build up. Like it felt like they were building to something, and then it never came. Like it never felt like it culminated in anything, you know? It felt like the whole album was like a build up.
Word.
You know?
Right on.
I mean, there was a couple parts where like they, you know, it felt like older Tool, but yeah, I don't know. Like Tempest was okay. It's just long.
I like Numa or however you pronounce it.
Oh yeah.
My favorite one off that album, I think. I'll have to give it another listen and tell you what other songs. I can't remember right now.
I mean, yeah, I would probably have to listen to it again just to get a better idea of it, but
yeah, there's some albums that do that, man. Like honestly, it comes down to like when I'm ready to listen to it. Isn't like something new comes out, and I'll give it a few listens, and then I'll just like it'll sit on the shelf, so to speak, for like a few months, and then like the more I listen to it, I'm just like, fuck yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and it's like even with albums that aren't that great, like if you listen to them 20 times, it's gonna grow on you either way. You know, like you're just gonna get it's gonna be something. I don't know. It's gonna be impactful in some way. You're also gonna latch on to something too. You know.
Yeah.
I remember, and sometimes you have to give albums multiple listens, otherwise you just don't get it. Like because I mean, that was me with Between the Buried and Me, and now they're one of my favorite bands. It's like I listened to them a couple times. I was like, I'm not a big fan of this, and then you know, after I listened to like Colors a handful of times, I'm like, okay, yeah, I got this. Like I figured this out because it's written well, and you know, it's one of those things. Like I didn't like their singer at all. I didn't like their vocals because I wasn't into that style, and it grows on you.
Oh yeah. And also, like, there's a thing that I've noticed too with music is in like even music you know and love, like you know the lyrics to a particular song, but you never fully understood it. It hits you differently when you go and see it live or something like that. And you're like, oh, I didn't look at it this way before. Now I actually know what that song's about, or something like it just hits you differently, and it's like,
oh, dude, yeah. There's times where I've seen bands like live, and it's like you've listened to the music a million times, but like maybe you're standing a little bit off to the left and you're hearing this guitar a little bit more and you're like, oh, I didn't really think about that part, like what he's playing in this section. That's really fucking cool. And you don't really recognize it until it's isolated almost.
fuck yeah, dude, that's a good way to put it. Yeah.
It's a very it's hard to, and especially if you're listening to music through like shit speakers. Like if you're listening through shit speakers, you can't hear everything. If you're listening through studio monitors or something, it's like you can now, there's a whole other dimension to the song and you're feeling like a lot more of it too. And it's really cool when you can find people who have like isolated tracks of certain albums and they can go like, oh, here's the backing vocals in this part, and you hear them and they're like low in the mix, so you can't really even tell that they're there. But when you hear them, you're like, oh, I'm never gonna unhear that when I listen to this album.
That shit, like I experienced with the band Mastodon. Like when I was a little kid, I would be listening to that band all the time with just like the regular stock, really shitty Apple headphones. Like even when they had like the stick go up and like the headphone part was like kind of off, like 3/4 down the middle of the stick. It was weird.
Oh,
but
yeah.
Yeah, like the really old ones, and I really wasn't hearing everything there. And then later on, I went and I took my studio headphones and I listened to it, and I was like, "Wow, there was shit that I just wasn't hearing all those years ago."
I mean, I remember,
a fucking awesome band.
It's like because I used to use those headphones that like would clip around the back of your ear. And it's like they're always horrible quality every single time.
Yeah,
and then when you put actual headphones on or actual speakers, it's like it's a different. The master is, you can hear everything in the master.
Yeah.
And you have to be able to do that to absorb any sort of music in any real way.
Mastodon is wild live. If you ever get the chance, I would highly recommend it. They're really cool.
That's something I definitely want to see.
They would be really cool live. There's some bands that I would really love to see that, like, you know, like, even if I don't like them that much, I'm like, they have to be unbelievable live. Because, like, Mastodon, I'm not huge on anyway, but I'm like, I need to see them for sure. Like, Meshuggah is that way. They're super heavy.
Yeah.
And, like, I don't listen to Meshuggah very often, but they're heavy as shit, and I need to experience that.
Yeah, that would be a fun show to go to, I feel like.
Yeah. Slayer was like that too. Like, I don't listen to much Slayer, but I was like, the intensity of Slayer, I have to go see him, and I want to see him, and it was exactly what I thought it was going to be. Just do the entire show for like 3 hours or whatever. Fucking just circle pits.
Me and Cass started the pit to Gojira last summer when they played at Darien Lake. It was hilarious, dude. Like, it was Behemoth, Gojira, Volbeat, Slipknot is the set list, and we were there for Gojira. And there was a little pit to Behemoth that was before, and this Gojira starting up, and no one's moving or anything like that. And me and Cass go into where the pit was at Behemoth, and we start like moving people aside, and security guards were still there from last time. And just look at me with the deer in headlights, like, is this guy gonna fight somebody? And then I started just like moving people, and it was.
Behemoth is nasty. I like Behemoth a lot. They're very intense.
They were, for an opening act, dude. That it got.
Oh
dark.
Yeah.
It was dark. Like, they literally like had fire on stage, and it like sang satanic ritual shit. And I'm just like, well, if my grandpa knew I was here right now, he'd probably
Yeah. It's like, that's a band that you want to open for you, man. That shit, they'll get you fucking hyped. Because that band goes hard.
Yeah, they were really intense and technical, and also pretty cool. As well as if you can perform with that much stuff on, like the singer was
like
dressed
deer blood on your face and shit. Yeah.
He's dressed up like a dark pope. It was really cool.
Yeah. And they're dressed up like Sting, like from WCW.
One band that's absolutely insane is Dillinger Escape Plan. If you've ever really...
they are nasty. I like Dillinger. They're not. I feel like that's a band that a lot of people aren't, like, they can't get into for whatever reason.
Because they switch it up so much, but they do it well. Like, because they're like, I don't even know what to call the kind of metal they do, but then they switch into like this jazzy, like smooth stuff that it just meshes so well.
It's just Dillinger. Like, that's what it is. That's the genre.
No.
No.
Yeah. I want to see Gojira bad, for sure.
They're so good live, dude. I would have to say even better than their studio recordings. Like,
they seem like they just play everything really tight live, and that's impressive. Especially when their drummer has to go off the way he does.
Dude, he's like the best metal drummer. He got voted a few years back. Like,
I'm pretty sure he's a cyborg. I'm pretty positive he's actually a cyborg.
Oh yeah.
It broke my heart when I heard that Meshuggah doesn't actually do the blast beats to bleed for the entire song when they do it live. They just record the first couple bars and then go on with it.
That's impossible to do, though. It does suck, but
it is impossible. But I was like, when I was a kid, I was so impressed by it. I was like, they do that?
That's how I felt when I watched Dragon Force do a live show on like AOL Music in like 2008. And
so depressing,
dude. That's what they did was for Through the Fire the Flames. Like, they don't even use a guitar. He plays it on a keyboard. It's a keyboard.
He plays on a keyboard. Oh, okay.
I think it was a keyboard. You're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, I remember Guitar Hero 3 came out and they're like, "That's the hardest song." That must be. That song is like so intense. This band must be so good. And I check them out and they're fucking trash.
Yeah, they're just horrible live.
This literally, guys, this is the pinnacle of music. Okay.
The funniest thing is that all of their choruses are the exact same chorus. But I remember hearing something about Meshuggah's Bleed, and basically they were saying that they weren't even sure it was going to end up on the album because it was so like ridiculously impossible to play for the drummer, and it almost didn't.
Didn't you have
Which
to
is like-
relearn how to play drums?
I mean, dude, he probably like when he figured out how to play that song, his memory probably got wiped, and he only knew how to play drums at that point. Like everything else was just.
The only thing that makes sense to me is if they would like record it in sections.
Yeah, you have to. You have to just do all like patchwork. I mean, it's the only way. There's no way you're like one shot recording that fucking song.
So I was on the phone with somebody when you guys were talking about music that you realized was different between having earbuds in and actual headphones in. And obviously the stereotypical answer is Pink Floyd.
Sure.
But
Zeppelin does a lot of it too. Zeppelin has
Zeppelin's
a lot of dimensions. Devin Townsend has a lot of layers.
Oh,
So you
fucking
have to
Devin
listen to Townsend with good speakers.
my personal favorite, 9 Inch Nails. There's
Who's
so
that?
much. What?
Who's 9 Inch
There's
Nails?
there's so much synth, especially in his first album, Pretty Hate Machine, which is more like synth pop than it is industrial metal. But there's so much shit in those albums that it's like it's amazing to me that Trent Reznor is not the most well-known musician of all time. Like that guy literally, he pretty much created, pioneered, and absolutely became the Wayne Gretzky of industrial metal. And now he's just chilling. He makes fucking movie soundtracks and stuff. And like he's like a producer for producers. Like,
Yeah. Well, Dave Grohl is like that to me because he's a guy who goes from Nirvana and then he's like, oh, Foo Fighters.
He's
two
like,
of the biggest
he's
bands
like,
ever.
he goes, oh, I was the drummer for the most influential band of the 90s. How about I create a band that's about to be one of the biggest bands of all time?
Yeah.
Like, and it's very strange when you think of the Foo Fighters like that because they're like the anti-Nickelback. Nobody talks about them, but everybody loves them.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean? They're like the antithesis of Nickelback. Like,
Pretty
They're also
much,
at the
yeah.
perfect spot where like they get radio play, like a lot of radio play, but they're also like rock that's heavier than like regular mainstream rock, like somewhat heavier than mainstream rock.
yeah. And it really disappoints me because I do like the Foo Fighters, but I listen to bands from the 90s like Collective Soul, who's one of my favorite bands ever. And it's crazy that like they only really had like 3 or 4 hits, but like you listen to Collective Soul's backlog, or you listen like Collective Soul and Sugar Ray, I think are those 2 bands that like were big every now and then, but you realize that their whole catalog is extremely consistent.
Sure.
Right.
Death Cab, like Ben Gibbard from Death Cab, every single project he's done, in my opinion, is fucking amazing. And
Yeah, I hear a lot of people really are into Death Cab. I never got into him though. I guess I never gave it a shot really.
DCFC?
What was that?
DCFC?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, Death Cab for a Cutie. Yeah.
Never heard of them.
Yeah.
I think I've listened to them, but I couldn't tell you any of their songs. You know what a band is that I wish was still really big? Only because their sound is probably the most unique out of a lot of bands that I listen to is fucking Fall of Troy.
They're a good band too. I
They're
haven't listened to
like-
many of their songs, but
My 2 favorite albums are Manipulator and Doppelganger, I think is what they're called.
okay.
So good. It's like this weird, it's technically called math metal because the time signatures are so weird.
They did
Yeah.
SCP Remix, right?
Yes. SCP Remix is a fucking I don't know what that is, but it's not Fall of Troy.
It sounds like something, yeah, for sure.
I couldn't remember the exact name of the song.
But yeah, that song was in Guitar Hero 3 as well. Can we've already conceded that Guitar Hero 3 is the best Guitar Hero, right?
Yeah.
I think so.
I really liked Legends of Rock, yes. Guitar
In
Hero.
my opinion, it was Warriors. Warriors of Rock was the best.
What one was that?
All right, well, we don't have to listen to him talk anymore. Let's talk about Guitar Hero 3.
No, I really liked and I think I said this before, the 80s one, Rocks the 80s or whatever. It was
It's only a few minutes.
All right, so
well, I don't know where we left off.
Me neither.
All right, well, we'll come. Oh wait, you know where we left off? Oh wait,
you don't
maybe
like
we
Guitar
are.
Hero 3, go fuck yourself.
Oh, you're recording now.
I just started recording.
Well, that's fucking shot.
Oh, you know what? It left off because I kicked you because you were recording.
Yeah, I was recording, and then you.
Okay, we're still talking about
Guitar Hero. Yeah.
it's been like 20 minutes.
The reason why Warriors of Rock was my favorite was because they had that whole section of the campaign where not Pink Floyd, they had the Rush 2112 album that you could play through. True. And it was so good, and I love Rush. So
yeah, Rush is they're one of those bands that's gigantic, and like everybody knows how good they are. Mm-hmm. But like I feel like no one I don't listen to Rush anymore. Like it's weird. Like it's like a very specific. Like it's the only time I hear them is when they come on like a mix playlist that I have or something. You know.
Yeah.
Like I don't sit down and listen to a Rush album.
I do, but like my Rush to me is like Pink Floyd to Jake. So
yeah,
I just went through
Rush to me is also Pink Floyd to me. I love Rush. They're my number one feel good band ever.
Mm-hmm.
Like but yes, obviously I like Pink Floyd more than Rush, but Rush is like, you could literally play any Rush song ever and I would not argue.
Yeah.
Nice.
But Graham and I were talking recently about this wicked cool band that apparently I'm wicked behind on called Pigeons Playing Ping Pong.
I heard of them.
Yeah, they're a nice jam band.
Dude, they are fucking awesome.
Pretty fun. Yo, dude, their merch, they've gotten a lot more popular in the last like few years, and like their pins, I've seen a few of their pins, like small little things that go on your hat, jacket, or pin board, go for like a few $100 because there's
I believe it, dude. There's that shit's going on with my favorite Let's Play guy on YouTube. This is a total digression, but Oni does a Let's Play, and every few months he releases a new set of pins. And the very first set of pins you can't get anymore because those original members aren't in the group anymore. Yep. And you can find them on like eBay and shit for fucking tons of money.
Dude, pins were always a weird thing to me though. Pins are like dude, there's always one guy at a metal show with a jean jacket and then 1 million pins on it. There's always one guy.
You don't want to run into that guy because you only get cut up.
You know what it used to be, and Graham can attest to this.
Because really, he just lives with his parents still. You know what I mean? Like he just lives in the basement, and he's harmless. He's a harmless little fella.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure Graham's dad does the same thing my dad does. My dad has had the same jean jacket since like fucking 1983 when he graduated high school, but they were big on patches.
My dad doesn't, but that's
damn. I was hoping they'd relate. So
that's
show,
the thing.
Every like concert my dad went to, he got patches. So he has a Doors patch. He saw the Doors when he was like 7 or some shit like that. And then he has like he has one Pink Floyd patch for every show he's seen. Oh. He's got a Rush patch. Oh shit, dude.
Those are your pins?
I like collecting pins. I'm a big like Grateful Dead Star Wars hybrid ones. These are like the Dancing Bears but Star Wars characters. And I also have ones from like concerts I've been to. My buddy Glenn made these pins and stuff like that.
Dude, I like those pins, but I think it's really tasteless. You have one of Anne Frank in blackface. Like, what is up with that one?
I do not have any of those. I like them because I put them on my pin board because it's a great souvenir, which doesn't cost that much, as well as it's like doesn't take up that much.
What the fuck, Jake?
Okay.
You think we were just gonna breeze past that?
I have a lot of masks. I have 200 masks. And that mask is closer to my tissues. My tissues are over there.
That's a good point, I guess.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
pins
that's
are
just-
like I feel like pins and patches are from like that 80s, like early 90s era where the people would go to these concerts. They'd, like you said, it's a cheap souvenir. They'd put it on their it was almost like basically a record of what they had seen and shit, like all the shows they had seen, which is
Yeah.
cool. I actually like that idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
But it's not like that now. Like not every band fucking sells patches,
Yeah, pins are a tough one to come by. I like the hippie culture because they're big into pins and stuff like that. And say I like fucking want to sell my pins someday, like I bet I can make a pretty penny if I ever needed to.
I know a
Mhm.
bunch of people are into pins. Like pins are huge in the EDM community too.
Yeah, that's like the new hippie.
Are we talking pins or buttons?
Pins.
Yes.
But buttons are the same. Can be the same thing. Yeah.
Okay. You're not talking about the pins that are like with the thing on the end, like it's the
They go in.
A funny
Yeah.
button in the mail. I ordered a glass piece online from this head shop.
Okay, that's what I'm talking about. I'm thinking of those pins where it's like one.
Oh no, I'm not thinking of those kinds of pins. I'm thinking about like the actual like the thing with the cap that goes over it
Yeah,
on the back,
yeah.
and they're usually metal.
Yeah.
I have this one. I found this one on the ground.
I can't see it with your back. Oh, the fair.
Nice.
Yeah, that's what I'm
See,
talking
those
about.
ones, the thing is, with those, you have to put them on a jacket or a shirt. Like, I know people like to put them in their hats, and if you're going to do it on your hat, you can't have those because it's just going to jab into your head the entire time. You have to have the ones that are parallel with the pin itself.
Vinny and I bought a bunch of these little badge things at Thrifty Shopper like a year ago. We found a bunch of ones that are just different types of dogs. I don't know what happened to them. I remember we each bought like 4 or 5 of them, but I had a whole set that I had a whole set of I had a whole set of like 4 or 5 that were just all the same beagle.
They were patches?
No, they were like
Pins.
little badges like this, like pins.
Oh,
Like this, but this kind of pin with the little safety thing.
Why?
what year is that fair pin?
It doesn't say.
Oh,
It's just a general thing.
It actually doesn't say the fair. It just says the fall.
The fuck?
Yeah, and then just a train.
Choo choo, motherfucker.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
Heck, nothing.
Maybe it's Blade Runner.
I love that you and Vinny were just like, oh my god, dog pins, and we got to immediately have to buy them.
Yeah. Well, that's where I got this thing. The same. Hang on, let me turn off my background.
It's messing with everything.
That's where I got Ali kick flip grind.
Oh, that's cool.
Well, that's where I got my Last Supper. It was the same fucking trick, dude.
Huh.
That's cool. Copper.
It was $5 for this. Dude, are you fucking kidding me?
What is it made? Is it real bronze? That looks nice and sanded down. That's good wood.
It's wicked nice, dude.
Is that
That is
me-
awesome.
is that metal or just paint?
No, it's metal.
That's
It's real
better.
copper.
Yeah.
That's probably worth more than $5.
Yeah, I was sorting drugs off of it when I first got it. But I don't put anything up my nose anymore, so.
Good for you, buddy.
Well, we talked about cocaine a while ago, so we don't have to now.
Right.
No, I'm not going to tell the story now while we're recording, but I was telling Graham this story the other night about why I made that decision. But anyway, I have a lot of buttons because Christy works for that what the fuck's it called? Verilife. It's like her fucking dispensary she works for.
Mhm.
So I have this black beanie, and whenever she gives me new pins, I put the pins in the beanie, and it's all different terpenes that are in marijuana.
Oh, that's
Nice.
cool.
Yeah, so
Slurp
she
and
gave me a new set. I don't know what I did with it, but it's
That's
sick.
Huh.
I like buttons. I have all after John passed away over the summer. I bought a bunch of like hippie tie-dye buttons that I put on all my dress shirts. So all my dress shirts have a corresponding tie-dye button on the collar.
That's the thing. I never know what to do with them. I get pins or whatever every once in a while from whatever, and then I just don't know what to do.
They're like enhancers, like saying the word fuck. It's like a sentence enhancer.
I just put them on get a little cork pin board, dude.
Yeah, that also is sick. You could put them in your dick, like.
I mean, yeah, I'm sure you could. This is America, but I wouldn't recommend it.
I mean, you certainly don't have to.
No, you don't.
Oh, dude, speaking of penises, I read a terrifying story the other day about this. So this person on 4chan was sharing a story about how he used to work at a sex shop in like a big city. And
this is going to be good.
No, he was talking about how this dude came in and he was hooking up with this new lady, and they were buying sex toys. They dropped like $500 or $600 on all these toys, but in particular, they bought a metallic device used for male urethral sounding. Now, I don't know if you know what that is.
Sounding?
Sounding. It's when you put stuff down your dick hole. Apparently, it gets you off. I've never tried it, nor will I ever. Probably not till I'm in my 40s.
Okay. When you say gets you off, does that mean like
makes you come? It makes you fucking shoot.
But does that mean like universally, like it gets everybody off easily, or does that like do you have to have a specific?
I don't think so, because I don't think you get off by having someone dress up like my mother and throw Chucky dolls at you. So, different strokes for different folks. But anyway,
well,
this guy,
I haven't tried it. I guess so.
It'll probably work for you. It's really fun getting hit by ginger dolls. It's like it's like somebody cloned a bunch of you as a fetus and just whipped them at me. Like it's pretty sweet. That's pretty much what I dream about. Anyway, I digress. So this guy bought a urethral sounding device and
a USD.
He came back.
Hey, they both plug in.
He came back a few days later, concerned, and told this particular guy posting that him and his girlfriend were trying out the urethral sounding device, USD, as coined by Seth, and they couldn't get it out.
Okay.
They never used lube.
Oh.
Okay. Oh, so you have to lube the device first, right? You have to lube the device.
I work in healthcare, and even when we're putting in a catheter, you use lubricant. And his girlfriend apparently got him stiff as a board and put a metal rod in his dick without lube and jammed it in there, and they could not get it out.
Okay.
So I just put the liquor away. I think I'm gonna go get it again.
and apparently the guy posting never saw this man ever again.
Okay.
Because he died of tetanus. That's what happened.
Yeah, true. You would probably have to put like something serious, like some alcohol in there or something to kill everything first.
What are they doing? Trying to stuff a fucking turkey up there or something?
Yeah, they're basting their own dick, essentially. Definitely don't do that, first of all.
You've never tried to
I'm so upset.
a golf ball up your pee hole?
No. I just can't imagine how that would get somebody off. I think that would just be painful.
Like, have you ever seen a video of how they fill cream donuts? Or jelly donuts. That's just what I imagine was happening, and I just don't want that happening.
I mean, it literally, like, just thinking about that, like, it just makes you, like, there's this, like, fucking, like, vibration in your body where you're just like, that's never happening to me. Because I know how it feel.
Yeah.
Where do you guys end it?
Oof, man.
Like, where do you guys, like,
where do you draw the line?
Where do you draw the line?
I want to say
my line is
definitely
it's definitely a few clicks before urethral sounding. I'll make that clear.
Mine is
a few clicks before.
Yeah.
Yeah, a few clicks before. I don't know what your guys' fucking
I'm not
is
gonna be too vivid about it, but I was watching Ozark and they like ripped off his toenail one time because they're interrogating him. I literally like turned the channel. I'm like, no, I'm fucking pussy, but like I fucking that gives me the fuck. You just feel that shit just looking at.
Yeah, that gives me that same feeling. Like
I
it's
can't
like
do-
that.
Oh, no.
Wait, no, I'm
anything
talking
to
about-
do with the eyes. If
No, I'm
someone's
talking
like
about-
eyes are getting gouged out, no.
No, I'm talking about fetishes, you fucking morons. I'm talking about.
Yeah,
I'm
we're
talking about
changing it.
sexual.
Oh, I thought we were talking about pain and shit. Okay.
Oh, well,
I
I
don't
mean,
know
we
how
might
to-
be. We might be talking about pain. I don't
We
know.
definitely are because it's the same thing apparently.
Sex and pain are. And, they're like,
I don't know, Jay. I don't like pain.
Yeah, someone posted something on Facebook about like a dude that like it was like a cartoon or some shit. It might have been Jake. I don't even know because everything I see now is goddamn Jake. But it was like a fucking someone put a tooth like it was like a cartoon of a guy putting a toothpick in his
Oh,
toenail
that was
and then kicking a wall.
oh,
me. That was me. Yeah, work made me take that one down.
Really?
Yeah. Anything violent. Well, it wasn't work technically. My boss was just like, "That's fucked up. I don't want to see that," and so I took it off.
No one does because it makes you feel like you have a rod in your dick. You know.
Yeah.
I've seen some shit and like I'm just like, wow, that ruined my day. Thank you.
Then there was like that shit that we
Bleep
watched
walk.
in fucking middle school, is like the BME Pain Olympics or some shit.
Yeah, that was a thing.
I never got into that shit, thank God.
But that's the thing is like pain is a fetish for people. Like people for whatever reason associate pain with sex or like there's some response there.
There's different tiers, just like there's different tiers to everything from my understanding.
Right, because
yeah.
there's spanking, which is the fucking entry level.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you-
and then there's red rooms where people just die, and then that's like, I think that's probably where you end it there.
That's fine.
Yeah,
I didn't even know that was a thing. That's fucked.
it's darknet shit.
Hmm.
I only seen it like on episodes of like Criminal Minds and shit like that, but
I think to answer your question, Jake, to draw the line, I'll like, I don't know. I like a little bit of like a little scratchy scratch here and there, or just like dirty talk, but anything else is just fucking like uncomfortable and weird.
Yeah.
Not really into that shit.
You guys like getting called daddy?
Fuck
no,
It's a little weird,
no.
All right.
but I mean, if you got to do it, I'll handle it, you know. But like, I was with a girl that like really was hard on the scratching thing, and it's like, you know, I don't know, I don't really want to have gouges in my back all the time, you know.
See, I
It's
don't
not
know
cool.
where to draw the line because I don't mind the scratching and stuff, but hickeys piss me off.
Yeah, I was gonna say
I don't
that for
mind
sure.
any of that stuff. I kind of just draw the line on like, don't pee on me.
Okay,
See, and that's where we differ because I don't like hickeys, but you know,
pee on me.
it's just pee.
See, our lines are all askew. How about that?
Well,
We're all-
Jake's on the other
we're all-
side of the line, is what it is. He's
Yeah,
on the other side of the line.
Yeah, you know. I've never been peed on. I have done the other.
Sounds
It's not
messy.
that bad.
You peed on someone?
It's weird.
Were you-
I'm
I
gonna
mean,
start
do
calling you R. Kelly from now on.
But it's like, are you rock hard when you do it, or are you like, is it flaccid pee?
What's he saying? Flaccid pee, he says. He says that confidently.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, because I mean, it's like it is a sexual act in that scenario, right? So
in between.
No, it's like a degrading act. I guess it's like foreplay, really.
True. So I guess it's just throwing the cake in the oven and not like eating it. You know what I mean?
No, it's more like pissing on someone.
it's kind of like that, yeah.
It's fucked up. God damn it. Gotcha.
I just don't. I mean, that is more understandable to me than someone just having explosive fire hose diarrhea on someone's chest. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah. I figured that was like Way up
Is
there.
anybody else weirded out by cuckold fetishes, or is it just me?
Oh, me too. That shit's fucked.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't like it.
Oh, yeah.
I always wonder what that comes from, like what the reasoning for wanting to get into that is.
Got an idea. Porn addiction.
Okay, so they want to see their girl in a porno, basically, is what they're trying to see.
Yeah. That's my theory. I mean, it's not a theory. It's not like I have any evidence for it, but it's just like a lot of people nowadays, especially like growing up. I feel bad for the kids growing up because at least for us growing up, porn wasn't so easily accessible. You know, we didn't have smartphones until like high school. I didn't have a smartphone until I was like 15. So, you know, there was no porn to be had.
Excuse me.
But now these kids are growing up and they're watching porn all the time because
Right.
I'm assuming they are. It's easily accessible. You're a horny 13 or 14-year-old.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's what I mean. Any of us would have had we had access to it that easily, for sure.
Right.
Funny
It's
thing.
actually really funny. I was talking in one of the episodes about how I got Pornhub Premium and I was like changed my life. Now I don't have Pornhub Premium anymore. I don't watch porn anymore. So Pornhub giving me a free month of, 4K HD VR porn. They lost a customer,
Yeah.
You were
'cause you're-
spoiled.
Yeah.
Did
It's
you,
like,
did you
Yeah,
guys,
man.
all right, question. When
What's
you
up?
guys were like 12 or through 15 years old, before you had your own computer, there was like the family computer that you guys would fucking like sneak off to. Like whenever your parents were home, you're like, oh fuck, I can make this quick.
but then it's like, but you can't make it quick because, first of all, you have to dial up with the.
Yeah, and then you gotta type boobies into Google. So
Yeah. And then when you finally find an image, it goes like it loads like this much at a time, but it's 20 minutes to get an actual high resolution image.
You are so much older than us. It's sad, Seth.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
I never had
Well, I don't know. You guys are only probably.
I never had dial-up.
Well, I think by the time I don't know. I probably only had dial up for a couple of years.
Graham and I are
I did.
23 and Zemiah is 25. 24. How old are you? 24?
24.
Yeah.
Graham
Graham and I
25 in the month.
Yeah, Graham and I turned 24 this year. We didn't have a computer until broadband was a thing. But I talked about it, I think, when Dave was on. My fucking browser. So like my dad is like really fucking good with computers. It's weird. I don't know how he did it. So like all the programs were locked with a password unless I signed into my own user on the computer. But the only thing I could do was play video games or use an internet browser that was like, I could only access like 7 or 8 websites. I didn't have like Google or anything, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if it wasn't whitelisted, I couldn't go on there. So I
It
pretty
was
much
like an intranet situation.
it was pretty much like the schools.
It was like North Korea.
You know how the school district, or when we were in high school they banned certain websites.
Yeah.
It was like that. But then I learned how to download Internet Explorer, and that was it.
Yeah. Also, there were websites that you could use to bypass like the firewall or whatever it was.
But I was like 9, so like I didn't know how to do that. But I did know how to download Internet Explorer. But then I got my own laptop. I don't have it anymore. It's a fucking antique. It's a Winbook 99. It came pre-installed with Windows Millennium.
I've never even heard of that.
Well, the thing is that it had a dial-up thing. It had like a dial-up connection. This is actually it right here. It's this fucker.
Damn.
This was my first laptop. I got it when
Oh
I
my
was
god.
Yeah, I got it when I was like 12.
No, my dad had one of those. My dad had one of those for work.
Yeah, that's how I got it from my grandma. It was a Winbook, and I could run Doom.
That's crazy.
That's such a prick. Oh my god.
Yeah, dude, that thing weighs like 15 pounds, no cap.
It's like it
Oh.
weighs a ton. It has to weigh a ton, an actual ton.
That thing looks like a police laptop. Like,
It pretty much is.
That's the shit that they pull out in every like fucking Die Hard movie.
Yeah. But anyway, so I have it had a dial-up like whatever thing, like the Ethernet jack or the phone jack, and I had a phone jack right outside my bedroom, so I got like a really long fucking phone dial-up cord, and I plugged it into the wall and ran it through to my bedroom. So then they didn't know I could connect to the internet, but I did anyway, and it was fucking weird, but it was really fun using a laptop from like 1998 to access websites from like 2004.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, there was this porn website that was called freeviewmovies.com. It's probably not a thing anymore, but because it was called Freeview Movies, I could just tell my parents, "Oh, I'm just watching movies on it." It's just
For free.
It's like you can just watch new movies for free on there, and they're like, "Oh, okay."
It is it's exclusively porn now.
It's still there.
Yep.
I used to use, there was a site called 89.com. And it was very shitty because it was is it still existent?
Let me see 89.com.
So yeah, it was
It
similar to
definitely is. This is the shittiest porn site I've ever seen in my
It
life.
looks almost exactly the same. So you would click on one of these and it would be a random video in that category.
Wait,
What?
I like this. I like this here.
That's
Yeah,
like
and it-
roulette.
And it
Like- I
switches every day. So you would just, go in, you'd get it done, and then that'd be that. And then the next day you'd have a new one.
Pigs.
Midget.
I frequented,
I am definitely
yeah.
clicking right now.
I love how blowjob is two separate words.
Oh no, this is okay. Nope.
Yeah.
I just
But,
saw some stuff. Let's see.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
that was very archaic because you never knew what you were gonna get. You were rolling the dice. It was like chat roulette for
Yeah.
porn.
Jesus Christ.
I'm just disappointed there's no gangbang category.
But what was interesting too is if you saw one day that you really liked, if you were really into it, you were never gonna see it again. Ever. So you just had to rub 8 of them out that day and be like, I gotta get my fill.
Now Jake's got to jerk off, so he's turning off his video.
Yeah, he's checking out 89.
He's like, I just got 2 new free porn sites. Fuck yeah.
Yeah, he's rolling the dice on the midget one.
I did, and I didn't get a good one.
Really?
Hopefully
You
your
clicked
luck is-
on one?
Yeah, I did. I clicked on one.
I'm gonna try it.
Try it. Ugh.
Twink. I like gay twink. That one's good. Pigs.
Yeah, I'm
Gay
gonna click on
pigs.
pigs. I'm gonna see what pigs gives me. Oh my god.
I'm not clicking that one.
Okay. Yep. Nope. That was just 2 very fat gay guys.
This really turned a turn for the worse.
I know. I don't know where this one's
Oh
going.
god, why'd it go back to the same video? Ugh.
Yeah, this one's tough.
I'm scrubbing my fucking browsing history here.
But I mean, actually, that seems like a viable site. You could still use it if you just want to roll the dice.
I guess. But I don't know.
I don't know. Where do you go from there?
Oh, sure.
I don't know. Foreign waters, man.
Did you just start off on Pornhub, Graham?
What's that? No. Oh,
No.
yeah, probably.
Yeah, that's the thing. It wasn't around. I don't think it was around when I was growing up.
There's probably a thing, but I just didn't know about it. So I was just like, oh, Freeview Movies.
Right. How would I know about? There wasn't really any. It's like AIM. Someone would have to fucking instant message it to me.
Yeah.
I think back in the day I had an iPod Nano and I downloaded a bunch of pictures and saved it on there.
Yeah. There was I definitely had the iPod Video, and there was definitely porn on it for sure.
Oh yeah.
It's I never even used it for that. I just had it on there because it was like on my computer or some shit.
Yeah.
So like iTunes would like sync files, like it would just sync files up to your fucking device. Okay,
Oh, he's on
Jake's
the
just
phone.
on. Oh,
He's back.
He's back.
I remember the first actual porn site I was ever on was xxbunker.com.
Oh boy.
Looks bunker. Okay.
Yeah, I don't think
sounds
it's
dangerous.
I know it's still a thing, but it's not the same as it used to be because the way it was it was kind of like motherless.com where there's like no filter. Never mind, I didn't say anything.
No, now I'm researching.
Well, it was pretty much just amateur videos.
Okay.
Like Motherless is I'm almost positive Motherless is all amateur stuff.
Oh, okay. I understand now. These are like, yeah.
Yeah, they're like short, like 5 to 10 minute clips that you upload, but there's no ads or anything. It's just really
Yeah.
specific. But actually, I remember really getting into like erotica when I was in high school.
What exactly is that? Like, I never understood what that was.
Just like
So-
sexy stories.
Okay, so it's just what was that book that all
50
the women
Shades.
were into? Yeah.
Yeah.
Which
Well,
was
that-
just
I'm just gonna let you know, Ron Jeremy is a short little grease ball. I've seen him in person one time, and he's literally like under 5 foot. Literally looked like he has olive oil just rubbed on his face.
Oh,
And,
I'm sure he does.
and I
I
was
don't
just
think
like,
it's a bad thing.
well, yeah. There's like a bunch of people lining up to get pictures with him. I'm just like, fuck this shit. I don't want him anywhere near me.
The dude's all cock.
I just wonder how he smells. Like, that's really the hardest thing for me. Is like, I just want to know his fragrance.
I don't. I think I'm good not knowing his smell.
It's got to be such a blend, though.
I feel like he smells like a generic Glade scent, but with a lot of horse sweat.
I thought he would smell like hot dog water with a little bit of cheap cologne.
And like Worcestershire sauce with a little minty touch to it.
Yeah,
It
like
sounds about
pickle
right.
juice, but with like toothpaste. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think we're all like. I think if we like blended all those, that's about where it is. That's about
Yeah,
where-
probably.
Yeah, whatever it is, it is.
yeah.
It just is.
I think it would be a smell that you couldn't put your finger on. Like, you couldn't describe it in any way.
Well, women from around the world have smelled it, so.
Yeah. Well, he also attained it from women around the world, you know?
Definitely. Do you think it's just a collective funk that's just built up on his penis? That's just
Yeah, that's
that's
what it
his
is.
scent now.
It's
It's
a
green.
tree-
That's interesting.
the layers of funk.
Yeah. It's definitely green and slippery for sure.
Yeah, it's a lot of cheese built up.
Another reason why I didn't go anywhere new. These thoughts were going through my mind.
It's a strange profession, man. It really is.
It is.
I can't. I don't know if I could. I don't know. I think it's a matter of, because I mean, they say a lot of guys like have trouble getting erections when the cameras are on. But I think it's like those high level porn actors, they have to have a like they have to just put it out of their minds, or they have to just be good at it somehow. And I think a lot of it has to do with camera cuts too. They cut at certain points and then, you know, they get a glass of water or something, you know, hang out for a minute.
And I know that your mom's house, they interviewed one guy who did porn, a couple porn videos. And I know Steve-O said the situation kind of is like, if you go into the business, like if you think you're gonna go in and only do one type of thing,
Yeah.
That's not gonna happen because
They're
you're
gonna
not
ask
gonna
you
make
to-
a lot of money. Because they're gonna
Yeah.
ask you, they're gonna be like, "Hey, would you do this? We're gonna give you this amount of money if you do this." They'll be like, "Oh, okay." And then like one day they'll be like, "We'll give you $500,000 if you do if you do a video of you getting railed up the ass." You're just like,
Yeah, I've heard
And
that a
that's
lot
the
of guys.
plot of that's the plot of a Serbian film.
yeah.
Well, I've heard that a lot of guys that go into it end up doing gay stuff because it just pays way more.
Yeah.
You know,
and
even
you
if they're
get
straight
HIV,
guys.
you get all that. You can start a GoFundMe and make way more money.
I mean, theoretically, yeah.
Yeah. Isn't there a guy that we know that went into gay porn?
Well,
We don't have to say his name right now, but I'm pretty sure we all know who I'm talking about.
you
There's
definitely
also-
need to say it later.
There was, I'll just put it in the group chat. There's also the Club Crystal girl was a porn star.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right.
Nadia Hilton, yep.
Yes.
Shout out to Nadia Hilton.
Shout out.
Dude,
Really?
her tits, yeah, I'm almost positive. Is that right, Seth? Check the group chat. What did you say? You cut out that entire time.
I'm trying to think of stage names. Not stage names, but like
I think it was
no.
Johnny. Was it Johnny Torque?
Torque. That's
Johnny
right.
Hard. It was Johnny Hard.
Something like that. I don't know. But it's just very,
like female aspect though isn't just like what, how does your personal life affected by this? Like, do you still have like or anyone that you have like a sexual relationship after that? Just like, I don't know, I feel like it kind of distorts your rewards as well as your morale.
Sure. I think with that, it's like you got to find someone who is okay with it, first of all. And that's got to be difficult, I would imagine.
Yeah.
Oh no! What?
I found him.
Of course you did.
You fuckers are weird.
But I know a lot of them. I know a lot of women that get into it. It's like a lot of them actually like doing it. Like they enjoy doing it, and they get paid a lot for it. So
yeah.
And they also say that a lot of times they know what it is. They know that there's no emotional connection to it. So it's like a matter of like being able to come to terms with what it is, and also be able to separate that from, to be like, oh, this is my job. This is my, this is my personal life over here. It's the same way with like actors who have to like kiss on camera or do sex scenes or whatever, and they got to go home to their, significant other. They both have to be okay with it.
Yeah, that's a real tough one.
Yeah, it's a different thing. And I think, certainly there's people that are okay with it, obviously.
Other porn stars.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I wonder if there's ever like a negotiation type thing, like, oh, you get to fuck all these guys on camera, so do I get to go like do whatever I want, kind of thing?
It's funny. I heard some guy say it once. He's like, the really important part of the porno, which they never show, is them talking about consent. Be like, okay, I'm gonna do this, this, and this with you. Or is that okay? Can I touch you this certain way? Can I do this? Can I do that? And that's like a big thing that's overlooked, because that's like a huge important thing. And like you're saying earlier, I feel bad for younger generations that are just like that, people that take that certain things or just think it's so easy. Like, yeah, I can just go up and grab a woman's tits or whatever. It's like, no, you can't. Like, not at all.
Yeah, not how it works. You can't just grab by the pussy.
Yeah, exactly.
Little Donnie T.
Yeah. I think a lot of them know what their limits are, so they know how much they want to get paid. Like they know how much they're gonna get paid for certain activities. So I don't know. It's a very fucking strange business, man.
It seems like the whole sell your soul thing. It's a potential to it, but if you're comfortable doing it, fuck yeah, do it. Like, but it's down to the comfortability of self.
Right.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know what you guys are talking about. I was really invested in Johnny Torque right there.
I bet you would.
Yeah, you would be.
If you go to high school with a porn star, you look him up.
Yeah.
So what do you guys think about Bill Gates, his vaccine, and him wanting to take over the world, and him being the actual devil and putting the mark of the beast on everyone with a vaccine?
Ooh,
I had to stop talking and associating with certain family members because they won't stop posting conspiracy bullshit.
I didn't even hear about this.
As a person that works in healthcare and is on the front line for this fucking thing, I have no patience for ignorance or arrogance about this situation. It's fine to believe what you want, but when you start coming at me and talking to me as if I'm in on it, then you're a fucking piece of shit.
Yeah. Well, so the general idea, I guess, is that everybody thinks Bill Gates is for some reason the devil, actual devil. Actually the devil. And he's pushing a vaccine. This is the theory, is that he's pushing a vaccine so that he can put some shit in it and mark people with it so that he can track everybody, which is pretty dumb, first of all.
How retarded has this world gotten?
Well,
for
the
real
thing is,
though, like
here's the thing. There's so many conspiracy theories on this thing, and that's because what are people doing? They're doing nothing, and they're just coming up with conspiracy theories.
Yeah.
That's all they're doing.
You know what? You know what we should do? Right now, let's start a conspiracy.
We should, yeah.
See if it just like gains ground.
If it sticks, it's gonna go, because it's a theory, and that's how it works.
Yeah.
Well, the big one obviously is the one that, it's a whole plan. Like the Democrats basically planned the whole thing to get Trump, like to fuck Trump over, to get him not to be elected in the next election. Which makes no sense in any way, really.
I don't think really that much is going on, but there are some little red flags. The coincidence of timing for this whole election is a big one. So I read something today, and it kind of took me by surprise, and I thought about it for a minute. But Jake, I'm mainly on your side, brother. I'm totally for people need to just bite the bullet, do what you're told, get through this shit. But the thing is, if there are people running an agenda while this whole thing's shut down, that's kind of fucked up too. I don't fully believe it, but I'm keeping an open mind to it, type thing. But the thing I was going to say was that states that just opened, they say all right. So I'm going to start with when this whole thing started. There's a 14-day incubation period, right? That someone has to go through for the virus to develop. Now, a state like Mississippi or Texas just opened, and within 2 or 3 days, they've seen numbers skyrocket or people die. And it's just like, wait, what happened to the 14-day incubation period? And why did people just in the last 2 or 3 come up with that when it takes more time for that to develop? So that was kind of the numbers didn't add up in my head. I'm still not jumping to conclusions. I'm just I'm tallying my questions as I go. I'm mainly for this is it is pretty severe, as in because anyone, no matter what their choices or whatever, can contract a virus like this, no matter your race, class, whatever job you do, or whatever. As in people, the heroin epidemic is more intense as in numbers, but people don't care because people are choosing to make a shitty choice and do drugs, and they have less.
I think there's a big stigma. I didn't mean to cut you off, but I am about to. I think there's a big stigma on addicts that people won't get over for a long time.
Yes.
As an addict, and I have a few in my family, I'm even guilty of it. But at the same time, it's no one just, you don't just go into opiates or benzos or fucking ketamine and shit.
There's a level of choice. There's a level of choice to all this.
Yeah.
And for me, it came to it was the easiest way to just forget and to
Detach,
just
right?
deal with shit. But then when you turn around and realize not only is it making my personal situation worse, but it's making my friendships and family relationships and intimate relationships worse, it was worth it. Obviously, it was worth it to quit. I wish I was still that skinny, but it was worth it to quit. But I think a lot of people don't understand it until they either go through it. And I can't even say that they don't understand it, even if someone they love or someone in their family goes through it, because there's a particular member of my family that it was two actually that were really, really big into substance abuse, way worse than I was, that have been all but ostracized completely from the family, even though they've completely turned it around.
Mm.
And they still have that stigma attached. And it's very disappointing.
Yeah, the thing is, anybody and everybody has this weakness and that dark side to them, but people are putting the shutters on that because it's not good behavior that we want to shine light on, as in like in helping people. The thing is, like, it is people you love and care about, and like, not many people experience that, so there is like a distorted view on it in comparison to like Corona. Anyone, I could be walking through the fucking grocery store, or like my grandpa, like, who don't do drugs and are fucking stand up grade A citizens, like, could get it for any reason, to where like the severity is a little bit more important. And like, I mean, I'm cooped up in my house just like everyone else, and I'm trying to make the best of it, man. But you gotta question things and be aware. I'm not saying, I'm not one to quickly jump to be like, oh, the government's against us or whatever, but you have to keep that in the back of your mind, as in the sense, like, there could be.
I will definitely agree on the point that I don't think we're getting all of the information as efficiently as we should be.
Oh yeah.
Sure. I think here's like, realistically, what's going to happen is we're going to know at some point where it's all going to come out. But right now, we're in this weird state of like choosing whether we open places up and try to save businesses. And I mean, the reality is, like, there's a lot of places that are closing. Like, people are losing businesses that they've invested their entire lives into. Like, the economy is not doing well, and it wasn't doing well after a week of a shutdown. And after the amount of time we've been shut down for, it's like we have to make a very, very difficult choice to go, okay, do we let people just make their own decisions and, you know, like, let people that are at high risk stay home and, you know, just relax for a little while longer until it dies down a little more? Or do we go with what we're doing and just keep everything locked down and keep doing this crazy amount of damage that we're doing to every business that's, you know, not Walmart or Amazon? It's like it's a very, very difficult choice. And to me, it's like the best thing to do is just start opening things and to do it as safely as you possibly can. And that's the hard part.
I think a big problem specifically for our country is the American hubris that so many people inhibit.
Yeah.
Where I think people have to face facts that the world is not, this is changing everything forever. We're not going to go back to normal. No. Like the economy won't recover from this for a long time. And a lot of people have a bad time processing that.
Well, also what we're doing right now, the amount of things that people are realizing how much stuff they can get done from home. And there's a lot of companies that are now allowing people to work from home because they understand that we don't need an office. Why do we need an office? Everyone can do these things from home because we've been doing it from home for the last 3 months. Like, they don't need to do that anymore. So I think there's a level of that to where things are going to change because people understand what they can and can't do, you know, without actually going out into the real world.
Yeah. Did you guys see that this whole epidemic, it's not, well, since the whole epidemic started, since it's, oh my God, I'm wording this wrong, but Jeff Bezos recently has become a trillionaire.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Of course. I mean, it is. That's part of the problem too. Is that the huge businesses they're getting all the business. Amazon is going way up because everyone's at home and they have to get things shipped to them. That's the only way. So now you're going to get all the business because you're already close to a monopoly as far as online shopping.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
And then meanwhile, mom and pop stores are going out, and it's like, where's this middle ground going to be? There's only going to be huge corporations, and then the places that have managed to survive through this.
We were talking about money earlier, like way before in the first part. Like we were talking earlier about how it's tough to process just making like 50 grand a month, which only evens out to like $500,000 a year, probably a little over half. $1 billion is fucking insane. $1 trillion is the most unnecessary. Like, $1 billion is unnecessary.
Yeah.
$1 trillion? What?
Nobody should have that amount of money.
We don't commonly do the math after $1 million because it's just numbers that we don't deal with.
Yeah.
But a difference between $1 billion and $1 trillion is fucking like a light year, dude.
Yeah, it's ridiculously huge.
Yeah, it's not like it's just another, like, it's almost like people look at it as just another million or some shit. Like, you don't think about how much that fucking, like, incremental jump actually is.
Yeah,
and it's
999 billion.
Yeah, and it's an amount of money where you couldn't possibly spend it.
No.
Like, could you actually possibly spend that much money?
Jesus Christ. Hang on a second. So 1 million seconds is 11 and a half days. 1 billion seconds is 32 years. 1 trillion seconds is 31,000 years.
Right. So going from 32 years to 31,000 years is a gigantic, almost incomprehensible jump.
Yeah.
So
And
to
that's
even have $1
basically
trillion
making that money.
is, which is why it required $3 trillion to even have a stimulus package in the first place, considering how many people are fucking in this country. And that money didn't even really get, I don't think it got
No, people were spending it
placed
on
in
their
the right
bills.
places. Right.
You know, and it's funny, people are like, there was an economist I was just reading an article about earlier today about how they were expecting an economic boom, but it kind of stayed the same and actually kind of lowered a bit. But when you get $1,200, you're gonna put it towards your bills and stuff.
Yeah, because you're at home and you're not working. You're scared of what's going to happen, so you're going to save as much of it as you can, not go out and spend it all.
And not all landlords are suspending payments. They're just not doing that.
Mine
They're
isn't.
just not going to. Right. So it's like, I mean, I think it's like, the thing is that's weird too is that there's this whole thing that's like, oh, Donald Trump, it's going to look bad on Donald Trump. Well, I don't think so. I think it's almost going to look good on Donald Trump in a lot of ways, because you're looking at this idea of the economy was in a decent spot where he was at.
Mm-hmm.
So now this isn't his fault. Like, realistically, ultimately, it's not his fault, and they're trying to blame it on him. Yeah, and he has made mistakes. I'm not a Donald Trump fan, but you can't go, this is your fault.
Yeah.
And, Donald Trump didn't have a tweet like years back going like, oh, if there was ever a pandemic, I have the tweet like saved. It's hilarious how specific it is. If there was ever a pandemic, it would be specifically the president's fault, responsibility or whatever. All the responsibility would fall on his shoulders. He tweeted some shit about it. Exactly. And it was about Obama. But now it's like, you can't blame all of it. Yes. Like I said, he's made mistakes for sure.
Here's the thing, like, I'm sorry.
No, I mean, that's basically it. It's like, what are you gonna, number one, Biden's not gonna fucking win this thing.
No,
like, let's be honest.
Hopefully, I pray
Regardless.
he's not going to.
There's no way. But it's like, when you look at the numbers, the economy was in good shape, and then it just kind of dies down, which is why people think about this conspiracy theory that it's to take him down, because it just destroyed everything that he built.
Here's the thing. I don't like Trump or Cuomo usually in the past, but being a leader right now is hard as fuck because you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. If you open stuff up like the people want and there's a bunch of deaths, like, how could you let that happen? It's fucking, we should have been smarter. Or if you're staying locked up, people are like, oh, we need to close up. So it's like, really.
You're always going to be wrong.
Yeah.
You're always going to be wrong.
Damned if you don't. I really admire what Cuomo's doing, as in, like he said, loosening the valve and the layered system of opening up, and we'll keep an eye on numbers and stuff like that. That's a really logical and smart thing to do. Like, I think that's
I'll give him that.
But I'll tell you what, this is a global pandemic. This is not about the United States, and it's not about Donald Trump. It's just not. We know that.
Global.
It's not just happening in the U.S.
Yeah. But they're the big ticket moneymaker topic, man. Dude, you can't go anywhere like without seeing not even just criticism of Trump, but like criticism of America is at an all-time high because he represents everybody.
Well, China as well. Like I'd never seen more people against China right now than ever. I don't think I've ever seen as many people against China.
And there were a lot of people against China before this even happened.
They don't have a good track record though with the president though, and then this happening. So it's like,
do you guys hear like the theories of it being possibly made in a lab and it got leaked out and shit?
Yeah.
It seems almost real. Like there's a lot less evidence to this whole wet market theory now. Just because that whole lab was like working on coronaviruses and things like that. And then there's this whole thing about Fauci like being a fucking part of it. And it's like, well, yeah, Fauci he's dedicated like all of his career to working on coronaviruses. That's his thing. Like, of course he's put money into funding it. It's not like he released it on purpose or some shit. That's not how this works.
Yeah. It's just like something slipped, and like when has China ever been honest before? Like they're always trying to cover shit up. And
dude, they literally had concentration camps. They still have concentration camps right now.
Yeah.
They're taking in Muslim refugees, and if they refuse to unlearn their faith and their education and their culture, they get put in these fucking prison camps.
Yeah, it's fucked up.
And this is the thing that there's two, but one of them really gets me, is that if you're in prison, you're automatically an organ donor, and they can take your organs from you while you're alive.
Yeah, I also, Alex Jones thing on Joe Rogan's podcast is saying they harvest fucking babies and like organs and they have little baby farms, and they fucking keep like a liver like growing, and so like it's fucked up, dude.
Yeah, that's the interdimensional vampires.
But the weird thing about China is that they're doing dystopia right, because most of, I mean, maybe it's out of fear, but a lot of Chinese people are very proud of China, and they just completely support whatever is going on, no matter what.
Well, the Germans supported Hitler, but I mean, Hitler had some pretty good numbers, though. So,
I mean, 6 million. What's the difference? You know,
I'm not deaths. I mean, like when his economy, when he was coming to power, like he took a hold of it and then made it better, and that's what made people trust him. So.
Exactly.
Which is crazy, because when you think of like the number one target of the Holocaust, you would just assume the economy would plummet after losing all those people, but apparently it worked.
Yeah.
But all right, so I'm not the biggest conspiracy theorist out there, but you have to imagine, like in a galaxy of infinite realities, there has to be the stereotypical like James Bond villain sometimes and shit. And it's funny, me and my buddy were listening to this song at work. It just came on Shuffle in Pandora. It was Two-Headed Dog, but I forgot the name of the band. But in the 1950s or 60s, there's this Russian scientist who literally put a puppy's dog head on a full-grown German Shepherd, and both of them were living. And so if you look up the picture of a Russian two-headed dog, it'll come up. But
definitely don't look that up. Yeah, for sure, don't look that up.
Well, it's just weird. But yo, like literally, they're like trying different experiments.
Oh my god!
You know how fucking weird that is. Yeah. Like,
why?
And like they're just seeing shit of trying to perpetuate human life and living forever, or whether it be combining like human genes with animal genes, or
Is it
certain
some-
things. Like America was doing stuff in that time too, of just people trying to figure shit out and doing weird random experiments. Like I'm sure you've heard about the Russian sleep experiment.
Mhm.
Yeah.
All this crazy shit of people just like doing different limits and finding weird shit out, and that's fucked up. I'm not for that. I'm totally against animal cruelty and all that shit. But it's a song that came on and we heard it like a bunch of times. We're like, wait, what's this song about? And we looked
Is
it
it
up.
this song, Graham?
Yeah, it is.
By Rocky Erickson.
Yep, it's a good one when you go listen.
That's a classic Rocky song. You know what I mean?
No, you hear about all these weird American experiments. MK Ultra is one that always comes to mind for a lot of people.
Oh, yeah.
Well, look, I mean, there was just crazy experiments everywhere, right? Like, so even during the Holocaust, there was crazy fucking experiments going on with people, and it's like, there's always going to be the mad scientist. You know,
My favorite one was the one in Japan where this guy was exposed to extremely high doses of radiation and it fried his skin. And they wanted to see how long the human body could survive while going through immense pain.
Yeah.
And they kept this guy alive in excruciating pain for like 40 days or something.
And see, here's the thing: do you need to know that information? Because like the only way to figure out that information is to have someone go through immense pain without dying, and
Yeah.
see how long they survive. But like, what is that? Is that information valuable to you? For what reason do you need that information?
Making super
Probably
soldiers.
yeah, super soldiers or interrogating people and just knowing the limits of the body is and like what you can do. It's
And-
fucked up stuff that we never have to worry about, but
Right, but it's like the only way you can conduct that experiment is to do it on a human trial, and it's incredibly inhumane.
Mhm.
And the people certainly aren't signing up for it. There's no line for fucking people that are trying to fucking do that.
especially in Western culture, it's very against our morals and stuff like that. But as in like China and like Russia, and like we were saying, like that's why a big thing why we don't agree with like
83 fucking days? That's double what I said, and I thought I was fucking highballing it. They left this guy alive for 83 days after being exposed to twice the lethal amount of radiation.
Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck? Why? Is that why people like hot sauce so much? Is it like sort of like that where they like want to see how hot it can get before they stop?
Jeez.
I just want to watch someone just like go to try the hottest hot sauce that's just came out and it just kills them on video.
Oh god.
Just like,
Yo,
I think
That's how you ascend. That's how you ascend to the Metatron.
there's video of people like progressively eating hot peppers, and like they go up in Scoville unit and they're eating them back to back, and each pepper got more and more intense. I forgot what it was called, but that shit was wild.
Yeah, that's definitely. I don't know. I like hot food, but I don't want to.
I'll push the envelope sometimes, but I like to enjoy my food mainly.
I put sriracha on almost everything I eat. I love sriracha sauce.
That's exactly it, though. It's like I would rather enjoy the food than be sweating and like ready to drink a gallon of milk.
I'll tell you what, though. Have you ever seen the show Hot Ones?
Yeah,
I
it's
had
great.
Death sauce. I bought that. It was like his 10th level sauce for his like first few seasons, and I put 3 drops of that on a wing, and I was sitting at my table for like 20 minutes, but I felt good. Like I just woke up one day and was just like, I just need to feel alive. Like I need to do something. So I like to eat something hot here and there.
Yeah, you did the last dab.
Yeah,
You get a really good adrenaline rush with really hot sauce.
it is
Sure.
healthy for you somewhat. Yeah.
I wanted to try one of those chips that like they're those chips that come in. It's like a single chip that comes in a little box,
Yeah.
and it's like the hottest chips you can buy,
yeah.
and it just comes with a single chip because that's all you can really handle.
Yo,
It just comes with one chip.
It comes with one chip.
that
They're
guy
all
cool.
they're all the same chip. They all come from this little plant down by the turnpike in Amarillo.
Yeah,
It's the same chip.
Yeah.
they are the same chip. They're just in different bags, different color bags.
Different colored bags, dude. What are you fucking talking about?
I saw one come in like a black coffin box, like as a chip.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. The coffin one. It's called Packy One Chip Challenge.
I'm sweating thinking about it, man.
Packy tortilla chips. Haunted ghost pepper.
That's the real conspiracy theory.
I'm
all
thinking
the
of wrapping
chips
up.
Haunted.
Thinking of wrapping up soon, boys.
Yeah,
hear
we're
that?
probably like fucking 3 hours. Feels like we've done 4 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, this little
Probably
coffin comes
haven't.
with one chip inside.
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
getting
so we
one-
didn't even come up with the conspiracy theory though.
Oh yeah.
Oh, we didn't. We need to come up with a conspiracy.
I think it's EA, honestly.
EA.
Yeah.
EA wants everybody to stay home and spend money on Madden.
Yeah, EA started the coronavirus so they could get more people playing Madden.
Madden Ultimate Team.
All right, we've got it right there.
That's what it is.
Set in stone. It's
That
set in
and
stone.
paper textile companies really needed some sales, so they're like, let's just make a shortage.
Yeah. Maybe it was the toilet paper companies, or it was the gardening companies, because it seems like everyone's gardening right now.
Yeah,
It's the only thing they can fucking do.
No, it was Netflix.
Could have been
They're
Netflix.
the only people with the power enough to do this.
Them and Disney
ESPN.
Plus.
ESPN's pretty big, and they put out the Michael Jordan thing, and everybody's watching it.
Yeah, it's true.
Or it could have been Netflix for the Tiger King.
Oh god, I'm the only person that hasn't watched that shit yet.
No, I haven't bothered.
Yeah,
I
I
watched it.
it.
Yeah, it was like it's entertaining. It's not like good though, you know. Like it's definitely entertaining, but it's not good.
I almost watched it because I thought in my head, like, everyone else has watched that shit, and I'm like, nah, that's nah.
I mean,
Good show.
yeah,
I watched it.
All right. I mean,
it's one of those things. Like, if you don't know what else to watch, you might as well.
Yeah. It's only interesting because you're watching it and you're like, it can't get any more fucking stupid or any more fucked up than this. And then it just does. They just keep throwing something that's even more fucked up than the last thing. That
It
happened.
really, yeah, that's the wildest thing is it just kind of doesn't stop getting weirder.
Yeah.
On some cool, really chill levels, I really like the Midnight Gospel, the Duncan Trussell, and the few.
Yeah, man, that is really good.
That last episode literally made me tear up. It's so good.
I've only seen the first like 4 or 5.
Right now, I think it's 8 episodes long.
Midnight Gospel?
Yeah.
It's Duncan Trussell's show. So I think he recorded a podcast for each episode.
Yeah.
So what he does is he has a conversation with these people, and it's a cartoon animated by the guy who did Adventure Time.
Okay.
And
Fountain
he-
Ward.
yes, and he basically he plays this character that goes into all these parallel worlds, and he interviews people for his space cast.
Okay.
And they're all these worlds are like different worlds that are about to experience like the end of the world, basically an apocalypse. So he interviews all these people and talks to them about like philosophy and shit, and it's really cool and it's animated really well. But it's like it's such a unique show because it's like you're watching a podcast that's animated in like this crazy psychedelic way.
And the plot has to go is like it's different than the subject, but it correlates with it by the end of it, and it's really cool. Like, yeah.
And the animation's not intense enough where it takes your attention away from the actual, like, and the conversations are very like intellectual, and Joey Diaz is in it too. He does some of
Yeah.
the
Really?
Yeah,
That's great.
A few parts, yeah.
very good. I would suggest watching it, and I would suggest watching it if you're high because that's the way to do it. Because I don't smoke weed anymore, but I feel like I would love it if I was high because it's very like it makes you think. And his podcast is really good anyway. The Duncan Trussell Family Hour, very good podcast. But he's very Duncan's great. He's really intellectual and like just.
He explains it in a very, very simplistic, very understandable way. Like,
And he also has a voice that's like perfect for the character, like a character that's like lighthearted and just curious, you know?
fuck yeah. But that's like my new favorite jam right there that I found.
It's great, yeah.
I'll have to check it out.
Yeah. Episode of that shit.
Oh, my back.
So shout out to Duncan. Duncan's gonna be on the next episode.
Holding it all together.
And yeah, we'll have Joey Diaz and then Joe Rogan and Duncan Trussell on the next one.
In my lifetime, I hope I can smoke with Joey Diaz. That should be awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, sick.
Except for you're gonna die. You're
Blue
gonna die.
cheese, oh fucking love.
Yeah. Except for
I bet
you'll
I
die,
could keep up
cocksucker.
with him. I bet me and Graham could keep up with him.
When he had on his podcast, he'd eat those fucking purple stars of death. He's like, that's 250 milligrams. That's another 250 milligrams.
Yeah, I mean Lee Syatt can't even keep up with him, dude.
Yeah. He
If
literally
Lee
like,
can't keep up, I don't know if you guys can.
oh god. No, I'm not used to that Western culture shit yet.
Yeah, same. Me neither. I can't even like I don't even get into the whole edible thing. I just do dabs and smoke weed, so I can't even say I'm on their tier.
When I've had them rock me when I lived out in Colorado. I ate like a few this brand Chiba Chew, like 100 milligrams, 75 milligrams, and I'll eat like a few of them. I'm like, all right, I can hang. I'm really relaxed, having fun. I ate this 150 milligram incredible chocolate bar, and I was in the back of my friend's car crying because I missed my grandma. Like, that's how fucking rocked I was.
Oh yeah, that'll happen.
Jeez.
That'll happen.
Trying to check into a hotel, and he's like, dude, I need you to fill out this information on your phone. I'm like, just give me 5 minutes.
That's a level. That's a real level where you get like actually intrinsic and like you pour out shit that's actually bothering you. It's very weird.
It is, man. It's just a part of yourself you don't want to deal with at that time, and it's fucking weird. But they definitely can creep up on you, and they're a lot more intense because Joe Rogan broke it down. But it releases a slight hallucinogen in your brain in certain amounts, and since it's in your bloodstream, it's in your system longer and a lot more intense.
Right.
It's pretty foul sometimes. Start small and give it like 2 or 3 hours before you.
That's what I mean. Hardest part is like figuring out where you is figuring out how to not overdo it.
Yeah, I'd have to say don't go more than 100 milligrams at once, just to start. You can always eat more.
Yeah, you can always have more. You can never have less.
Yep, you can't go back in time.
Yeah. It's the same with mushrooms, you know?
I've never done that shit. I was not good when I tried acid, so I figured shrooms are not going to be a good experience.
Shrooms aren't as intense, though. I don't think. I've never done acid, but
it's pretty great. You gotta respect it, though.
So.
Oh, there's a thing on Netflix about LSD too.
Mm-hmm.
It's called Have a Good Trip, and it's got a whole bunch of celebrities on it with, you know, just like they're just talking about their experiences on it.
I understand the appeal. It's just 100% not for me.
Right.
Yeah. I definitely have really calmed it down because I've went a little too hard in the paint a few years ago and just like, not really for me.
Mm-hmm.
Some light occasions here and there, but like you can in both things. It's pretty easy to overdo it because you can just misgauge something very easily, quickly, and whatever. There's time for everything.
Yeah.
I know one of my friends, they'll just pop like 4 fucking tabs at once and then they'll be okay. And I'm just like, it's not Jake, but it just blows my mind. I'm like, how in the fuck do you how are you okay? How is this your normal amount?
I can do 3 and function pretty well, but my sweet spot is like 1.5.
But I even think that about guy like Snoop Dogg who fucking just smokes weed all day. It's like, how do you live and do that? Like, do everything normal? It's a tolerance. It's a weird tolerance thing.
The thing with Allen mushrooms, though, is it's extremely hard to measure. And with L, from my understanding that I've learned about it, is that it's really diluted down. And the thing is, you don't know how strong that paper is that you're taking. It could be like 50 mics. It could be 100 mics, which is micrograms, which is like an average dose for people. But there's been like that are triple dunked, that are like triple dose tabs or whatnot, where like 1 tab for somebody could be like 10 for another, you know?
Jesus.
So you really don't know what measurement you're getting. So it's really easy to overdo it, and stuff like that. But mushrooms are cool too. I've liked them and stuff like that. But sometimes I've had that, like we were saying earlier, like that introspective look, and like other times you're ready for it. Other times you're in a party with people, and you're like, why am I dealing with this right now? But it's
Yeah, and I'm like the reverse. I've never had a really great time on mushrooms, but out of all the times on acid, I've pretty much ended up having a great time. There's the one story I've told 100 times about when I accidentally took 4 hits at once, and most of the panic came from that I took 4 hits without knowing I took 4. I was not expecting it to be that intense, but
yeah. The thing is, it's just so long too. That's like
that's the biggest issue I have. Is it can last 12 to 14 hours. Like,
And who has that time?
well,
Except
and the
for, like,
problem
right now.
too is that like you'll get like valleys and ups and downs to where like you'll stop tripping, but your brain is still firing on all cylinders, so you can't sleep. So you're just like continuously getting drained, and then you get tired enough to where you start hallucinating again.
Yeah.
But like now, whenever I do acid, I like the last time I did it, I binge watched all the Godfather movies and played Skyrim for like 13 hours straight. So it was a pretty solid day. Wicked fucking good day. Some would say it was the best day. I also watched Spider-Man: Far From Home. I was telling Graham about this. I was hanging out with some people and we were watching Spider-Man, and I took a hit of a bong after I was done tripping. It was like 14 or 15 hours after the fact, and it like fucking vamped me for another 2 or 3 hours, and that sucked. That was awful.
Yeah, that's my one big problem with it, is just how long it lasts. It's like, yeah, you go to the concert, you have fun, the lights look cool, whatever, but you're in a car ride home, or you got shit to do the next day, or whatever. And it's just like, that's where I don't fucking like feeling like shit the next day, or
Yeah, dude, those hangovers last for like 24 hours, and there's pretty much nothing you can do but just stave it off or get like a fucking banana bag. Like, but anyway, I'm crashing, boys. I think I'm gonna
Same
call.
here. I'm getting tired.
Well, boys, thank you for having me on. I appreciate it. It was good chatting.
Glad you
Yeah,
came
thanks
in
for having me on too.
such short notice.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fun as shit. I love you guys. We'll see you around.
There's no such thing as a bad drug. It's just the circumstances.
But never do heroin.